Dude, I'm so pumped to be back. What is up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in again. We have another one of PJ's sons today. My good old buddy is the best man at my wedding. It's taken us a little while to get him out here, but we finally got him. My buddy Matt Brauss. What's up, cuz?
Hey, what's going on, Dominic, man? It's always good to be in your presence.
This is fucking a long time coming, dude. I've been stoked about it for a while, and like I've told you, like mostly the reason behind that is we have so much history, and then there's that thing where we are both just kind of bullshitters and
Oh, yeah.
so much to talk about, and so it's kind of been one of those long time coming things.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Probably from like mid-20s.
Mid-20s, probably a little bit after you got out of the Marine Corps, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit out of there. I still remember, not necessarily meeting you to this day, but like, I remember seeing you in Mattingly's and you started like drilling me about where I got my tattoos.
Yeah.
Am I right about this?
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
we knew who each other was, dude. Everyone knew
Yeah,
who
high
you were in
school.
high school.
Yeah, for
People
sure.
knew who I was. And, but yeah, when we were in Mattingly's, you just kept questioning me. Oh
Yeah.
my God, where'd you get your
Like
tattoos?
a fucking chick.
Yeah, I know. It's like, dude, I got a lot of tattoos. I mean, people used to just ask all the time. I guess it's just to bring up conversation. I thought you were full of it too. And then you called me the next day. Hey, what's that guy's name again? I was like, his name is Matt Hodel. I sent you on his way, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
We've been friends since.
Yeah,
you know?
because I remember I called you the next day. Now everybody remember this is before we had GPS and shit in our car. There were I don't know if there were smartphones then, but I sure as fuck didn't have one.
No.
And so I remember calling you, going, "Is it 44?" What and you're like, "Yeah,
Going
dude."
down to Trader Bob's.
Yeah,
out of
Trader
the city,
Bob's,
And I don't
yeah.
know my dick from my asshole.
No, I know. I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I am not good in the city whatsoever."
No.
And then it just took off, and so yeah, from like, well, yeah. So Matt has a brother who is my age. We went to school together, so known each other forever, but really started running hard. Running hard.
Right about that day. Like 2 days after.
So what, mid-20s to like 30s?
I would say it was probably around 23-ish.
Well, no. Yeah, it would have been.
About 23-ish, probably.
Because Arizona
And then you
was
moved to Arizona around
07.
07, so I was 27
July
then.
15th, 2007.
Oh
we
my
we
God.
took off.
That kind of puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
On how far I haven't came. And
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
fucking weird.
But yeah, I mean, we've been running since then. It was wild.
It's
all
been
the
a
way
wild
to about
ride.
We had kids. And there was still a little nonsense involved right around the time we had kids. And
We had kids 2 weeks apart. No.
1 week.
1 week apart.
September 20th is my son. You're
27.
27.
Yeah.
It's, Chevelle. I think we were leaving. You were coming in. It's crazy.
Dude, and everybody was like, because it was so weird that we were that close.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Well, were you motherfuckers partying one night?" And shit. I'm like, no, actually, I mean, to know us, especially back then, the way we were running to the
Right.
bars and shit, it's
At
not.
least she wasn't taking a test
Yeah.
to see whose kid it was, mine or yours, because that could have happened back then.
It's not that
You know?
far fetched, but no,
No.
it didn't go down that way for sure.
No, not at all. And I still remember to this day, you walk in Chevelle. I don't know if it was months after, because we lived, and then we moved a block apart.
A
from each
block
other.
away, yeah.
I'd bought my first house over there, and Dominic was living a street up. And I remember you would always walk Chevelle.
Yeah.
And you came by my house that one day, and you go, "Man, I'm thinking about getting snipped." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like,
One's enough.
he's like, "One is enough." And what? A couple weeks later, you ain't gonna believe this.
Well, yeah.
And was it a couple weeks
It
later?
wasn't that. They're
It
just
seems like
over a year
Right.
difference between the Chevelle and the twins.
Sure.
It's not that far.
So it makes sense. About 6 months, you're walking your daughter. Like, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
And keep in mind too, Landon,
Yeah.
who isn't my biological son,
Yes.
but same mom. So yeah, I kind of had 2 kids all of
All
a
at once.
sudden. Yeah,
And fast forward a little bit, you're like, guess what? It's twins.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. But
Well,
you
dude-
needed it. You wouldn't be alive if you didn't have all
for
of them.
sure, absolutely not. Well, Alicia too, but
Yeah,
but I
for
remember when we were in the ultrasound room with the twins, didn't know they were twins yet. I know I called you pretty right after that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude? But the screen, because so obviously I'd only been in one ultrasound. Go ahead, dude. I'd only been in one ultrasound room my whole fucking life with the one child I had. The second time around, the screen is, there's a left and a right screen.
Sure.
Well, not knowing anything, I'm like, well, is this like a north and south angle? Like, are they like in that year of time, a year and a half, or have they come up with new technology where they can see like the left and the right side? So are they and I'm like, well, hey, we just had a daughter last year, whatever. So what's going on? Why is there two screens? She's like, well, and she kind of hesitated. I'm like, fuck the hesitation, you know? She's like, as of right now, there are 2 eggs and 2 sacs, and there are twins. I'm like, nuh-uh.
Insane.
Sure enough, dude. I called my mom. She's like, fuck you. Well, this is some shit I don't joke about, you know?
Oh, man. I don't know. I would have fainted.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, one's enough for me. So
I'm telling you. But the famous story goes, the twins are born out of ICU, home. Which one of them? One of them, I think it was Cash, was on like a monitor thing.
Sure.
I don't know. Do you recall? Probably not. But anyway, like he had shit hooked up to him to where if he quit breathing or something, it would go on, you know, like fucking wake the whole house. That was another few weeks or whatever it was. So like that got done and they were stable and they were going to be okay. Well, I mean, like, you know, they were physically going to survive
as much as they can when you're raising them up.
Yeah. They were physically going to survive for a little while, at least on this earth.
Right.
I called the VA and was like, oh, hey, just wanted to come in to talk to somebody about getting a vasectomy. And she's like, well, you know, maybe we'll come in for a consultation. And I said, well, ma'am, what exactly would we consult about? And she said, well, you know, you're 28. I know but a lot of people kind of jump the gun on this thing and they get a little too early and then they come to realize, she says, so for instance, how many children do you have? At the time, I had a 4-year-old stepson, a 2-year-old, and I think they were like 2-month-old twins. And she was like, oh God, we can get you in Friday. I'm like, yeah, fucking get me in Friday, dude.
Pulls out the scissors.
Yeah. and you know, I don't say this in a rude way, but like I always say, it was like the best thing Uncle Sam did for me. They put me out.
Yeah.
Everybody else was like awake. Yeah. They put me fucking out. I got anesthesia, which was awesome at the time, you know.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, dude. And that was the end of my child having experience, which I couldn't have been happier with.
Yeah, but they've all seemed to have grown up good. I just got to see them when I got here for the first time in probably 2 years, maybe.
It's fucking weird.
A couple years. It's just too much time in between, and it's wild.
It's weird.
It's wild to see them grow up. You know.
Well, and you know, it's like, and the last time I saw Dylan, and not to compare our children to dogs, but it's like your dog grows up and you just go, Echo still looks like a puppy to me. And people are like, Jesus, he's huge.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, he looks. Well, our kids are the same way. I see him you see your fucking son all the time.
Sure.
So, but the last time I saw him, I'm like, looking up at him. I'm like, Jesus, man, what the fuck, dude?
He's getting there now. I think he's about 5'9".
I know.
So he'll stop though. He'll stop right about when I did. I got tall, quick, young, and then everything got cut off. I mean, it's just my feet stopped growing young, and I mean, we just
it's crazy, dude.
Rised up quick.
Yeah. So what's been going on? What do you think about this podcasting thing?
It's weird. It is. It's different. It doesn't feel natural just yet, but it is what it is.
You know, you don't have to have the headphones on if you don't want to, because I can monitor your shit and your levels are good, so you don't have to.
Nah, it don't bother me one bit.
But it's something weird we were talking about. You have way more time in front of a microphone than I do.
I have no time in front of a microphone, just time in front of a stage.
When you used to play in front of tens of people, dude.
Yeah, tens of people. Yeah.
You guys opened for some pretty big acts.
We sure did.
Chevelle.
That was the very last show I played in was with Chevelle. We did some stuff when we were younger. I was around 19. I think we played with Cold Chamber, Primer 55, some real
Finger
heavy
11,
bands. Finger 11, Story of the Year.
Story of the Year.
Story of the Year used to be a band called Big Blue Monkey years ago, and we used to play with them. I remember Planet Hollywood. They had an outside stage there, and man, they were wild then, and they're still going out. It's really cool.
Are they still?
Yeah, I think they're touring right now. They might have put out a new album.
Really?
I could be wrong about that, but
that's dope.
They've been going a long time.
Yeah.
kind of grew up in the North County area as well.
Yeah,
Or I think they were
Page Avenue.
Overland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Overland,
It was weird. We went to the casino one night after the bar closed, go figure, and you're like, hey, that's Dan, and you introduced me. I was like, what's up, dude? Let's party like fucking rock stars. They were like a lot more calm than I thought.
Yeah.
At that time, maybe that was just that one night or whatever.
Or they
but-
just thought we were weird.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I'm
They're
thinking
probably
like
this guy won't ever stop like showing up where we do. He's
Yeah.
stalking us.
fucking who is this idiot? I'm
I'm getting,
thinking
like-
cocaine and hookers, dude. I was
Oh,
like, let's
man.
fucking do this.
I remember their band manager. He worked with my brother for a long time. That's kind of how I got to know those guys. And when they played with, I believe it was POD in Lincoln Park up in Chicago, I got a hold of him, or he got a hold of me, and he's like, "Hey, I got some tickets for the band, and we went backstage, hung out with them." But it's pretty wild times,
It's weird, man. Yeah.
It doesn't even feel real, I guess. I don't know. We just did it, we played music, we went to shows, and
It's weird to me knowing you as well as I do. If I didn't know that about you, if I didn't know that you played in a band and played bass and like fucking rocked out, like you are a good performer, I would never guess you. You know what I mean? I would never go, yeah, that dude's definitely like an on stage type of guy. But you fucking changed.
I never felt like it. Never felt
Yeah, but
like
dude, you
it on
changed
stage.
when you got up there. You were
I
different.
can feel that
For sure.
Sometimes we're awkward. we've had some incidences.
Yeah.
On stage where we had some issues with mics before, and when you're opening up for a national act, say Story of the Year. This specific time we were opening up for Story of the Year. I believe it was their Nintendo Fusion tour. It was in the early 2000s somewhere, but man, they didn't like us, and we came out. The mics weren't working. We had to stop the show, go back on. I got hit with some change. It wasn't always easy. Made a couple bucks, but
Yeah, fuck 'em.
yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. So
Yeah.
after that, it was you get a little gun shy on stage, like you don't know what you're gonna dodge, or if someone's not gonna like your music because they're so into a different style or whatnot.
Well, they're here to see.
Oh,
I'm here to see
that.
Chevelle. I don't,
Oh yeah, or Chevelle, yeah, or whoever, and when you're an opening band, they turn down the volume down quite a bit,
Do they?
compared to the national act or whatever, which makes sense, but it can kind of make you look like an asshole.
Yeah, I
quick.
guess so. Well, what happens between sound check? Well, I guess the main act goes on and does all their checks. So somebody's turning shit off or whatever, and
Yeah, they're probably sound checking during the day, especially a national act. Bands like us, you throw your equipment up there and hope it sounds right.
we sound check. I went with you that one time. It was like an all day fucking thing.
We might have. I don't know. I don't remember half the time either.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I remember a sound check or two. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have done.
And then
that.
I tried to act like your bass tech. I had zero clue what to do. I just wanted to be a
I
part of
didn't
it for
even
the
know what I was
chicks.
doing.
Yeah.
but
I-
we had fun.
Have you played in a long time?
No, I believe after the Chevelle show, I never picked up a bass again. I
Really?
was done. Yeah, I've been like that my whole life. I'm done with something, I'm done. And
Well, do you still have it?
no, sold it on eBay or
Whatever.
Facebook or whatever.
You
it
could
was.
play again though, couldn't you? Like, is it a riding a bike thing?
Yeah.
Is
It's a little bit. I mean, it would take a little bit, but
Do you ever
just
want to just like?
No.
You don't ever get the urge?
Not really. I'm more urge of like getting an acoustic and sitting around and
Well,
playing.
I mean, yeah.
Like just a regular guitar, not a bass. I thought bass was kind of boring, but I mean,
Bass
I
players.
wasn't as into it as most people can get into it.
Yeah.
No.
Bass players often get overlooked. Besides
yeah.
like Nikki Sixx and Flea and shit,
Yeah, yeah.
bass players get the
Like
hand-me-downs.
3 of them.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
We always got the hand-me-downs. Thank God the singer was basically married. When
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
performing,
yeah.
Because I just took all
That
the
helps out a lot.
leftovers.
Yeah, that helped out a lot
And
for
then
sure.
you got my leftovers for a little bit.
Hey, dude,
man,
I'll-
you're getting the bass players leftovers.
Yeah,
you're
what a
screwed,
fucking pig, dude. Yeah,
You
but
are
I'll take it.
screwed.
I'll take it. I don't mind at all.
Oh yeah.
Well, so wait
We
a
knew
minute.
that.
So when was the Chevelle show? Because like I just said, 2007 was when we left, and that was right after a show at Blueberry Hill.
Oh, that was 2000.
2007, July 15, 2007, we fucking bolted.
It wasn't much longer after that.
Okay. So when
No.
you got back?
No, because it was definitely before my son was born.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I mean, my ex-wife never saw me.
All right.
play.
So then
yeah, it was.
might not have been far after
It
that.
was not far after that, and I think it was like a one-off show. I don't even think we were really practicing then or anything, and then we just got the opportunity and jumped on it.
Are those dudes? Are they Christian dudes for real?
Chevelle? I don't know. I really don't know.
I thought I'd heard that one time, and it didn't seem like it.
POD, you might be thinking.
Well, no, I know
POD
is. But you know, like
they're all brothers. The three guys.
Yeah,
Chevelle.
Right. Well, I didn't know that. I thought the lead and drum were brothers.
I think they might all be. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. They did it.
Oh, they sure did.
Let's tell the Arizona story.
Going to Arizona.
So it's 2000. So as you guys know, I'm gonna go back a little bit. I get out in 2004. And as I've explained before, that was really the only thing that I knew I wanted to do in my life, and it got cut short. My mom getting sick. Echo 2-1 was already gone. And re-enlisting with a different unit just did not feel like the right thing to do to me. So some buddies had a concrete company, start doing that. Like if you've ever done concrete, you don't want to do it much more. Again, at this time, the chopper thing was taken off. Discovery Channel, Jesse James, Billy Lane, like it was getting cool. Again, as you guys know, my dad, outlaw, biker, loser, all that stuff. So
man, you've gotten to your dad talk on this show.
Oh fuck, dude.
I've
gotten all kinds of places.
Yeah, so to Dominic's listeners, I've only listened to probably about 10 minutes of one of his shows.
So, real good friend.
This is new to me.
Real good bro.
Yeah. So we're just gonna try to figure it all out right now. If that's okay.
Yeah.
So you've talked about your dad.
Sure, I talked about everything. I just told the story the other day about when he died in that apartment. I was fucked up at the time. I sat in there and smoked dope while like his biohazard material was soaked into this chair that he died in.
Ugh.
It was fucking wild. Like that had to have been like the weirdest place, you know?
Sure.
Because you're just sitting you're sitting in death.
Yeah.
I didn't sit in that chair. That would have been fun. I knew enough to not be that gross, but it was like, what the fuck, dude?
Wait, was he there?
No, he had just died.
Oh, but he wasn't still in the room?
No, that would have been fucking weird.
Well, I wouldn't put anything past you.
No, I know.
I don't know if we really ever talked too much in depth about this. That's why I was kind of surprised that. I mean, I know like
I hid most of my meth stuff from you too. I was even embarrassed. Like, if you're not doing it with me, I didn't want you to know about it.
Right. I'm glad you didn't offer me.
I know.
I would have done anything.
For sure. Well, I didn't have the money or the resources to keep you fucking going with me. Yeah,
I'm sitting there pumping stuff into him, and he ain't giving me nothing.
Yeah, dude. When you're smoking meth, it's like you're by yourself. You're on your own.
I get it. Just dirty feeling.
Yeah, it's gross. So, into motorcycles my whole life, and I'm sitting around with some of the guys that I was doing concrete with, and they're like, he goes, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" It's Tom Weimer.
I knew that.
He goes, "What the fuck are you doing, man? You just got done doing this thing in the Marines. Like, this is what you're gonna do is be a concrete guy your whole life.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that, but it's a fucking tough way to make a living."
Yes, it is.
And I'm like, no, it's not what I want, but it's what I got to do something for now to make money, you know? And so, again, the motorcycle thing was taken off. Excuse me. And I had all these ideas about choppers and how I wanted to build them, all this other shit. And he's like, "Well, doesn't the fucking government pay for you to go to school?" And I'm like, "I think so. I don't know if they pay for me to go to that kind of school, but let's look into it." So I did. Started looking into the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, and they got the okay to go. And so it was kind of strange too, because as you well know, you've been around, but a lot of people here don't leave here. A lot of people here have never been to the beach. A lot of people here have never like really, really left here.
Sure.
And that's fucking weird to me. Mm-hmm. But I remember, because going away parties was my favorite thing to do. And it's like, dude, so you're just going to go to Arizona by yourself? You don't know anybody? Like, what's one of your buddies from the Marines going to school? I'm like, no. They're like, well, what the fuck are you going to do? I'm like, well, I got an apartment and I'm going to go to school for a couple years. And they're like, dude, you can't just up and leave home and go somewhere you don't know anybody. I'm like, I just did.
Right.
Honestly, it's not that big of a deal because they don't know what kind of a motherfucker I am, so I get to start over on like a clean slate.
Right. And you're going to try to act normal, I'm sure, when you get there, right?
Well, or at least gravitate towards the same kind of people as me, and then
Fair.
which
I guess
is
at that time it'd be a little different now.
Yeah.
If you went out on your own.
I
you'd
would be a
like,
fucking hermit.
You're like, cool, nobody knows me, nobody knows how dirty I am.
Yeah, Well,
and
that's
then-
all true too.
Oh yeah.
So, so I get like signed up to go to school, and all right. So July 15th was a Saturday night. Okay, you guys had a show at Blueberry Hill.
Yeah.
It was a Saturday night. I had to be. No, that's not right. Because remember, we had to get to my apartment before they closed. All right. Okay. So I'm wrong.
I thought we left straight from the show.
We did.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is we had to make it there by Friday, like close of business, I think.
Oh yeah, to get you ready for school.
No, to get me in the fucking apartment.
Oh, the apartment.
Yeah, because management wasn't going to be there. Whatever day it was, we had 2 days.
Yeah,
So
sounds about right.
So Brauss has a show, and I don't. Well, no, we had talked about it. I loaded up my S10. I had a twin mattress.
Yeah.
I had a TV. Remember that TV from Mick he brought home from prison? It was like clear. You could see. It was like a 10-inch fucking TV.
Oh yeah.
Trash bags with clothing. I had zero luggage. We never owned luggage growing up. What the fuck do you need luggage for when you're poor and you can't go anywhere?
God, you still have that picture?
Which one?
The original one. Your mom took over.
Oh yeah. Standing out front.
It just wreaks havoc.
Oh yeah. It was like it should have been captioned just trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was basically it. I had a bed, clothes, a TV, and like somebody had a Jorge Formano, the George Foreman that I took.
Yeah. Man, those were the best.
The shitty fucking George where they got like, and I got like cookware from people and shit. Like, here you little poor kid, go fucking make something out of your life. Right. So Brauss has it. So I took the truck over to Greg's where you were living.
Yeah, that's
parked it in the garage because we had all that shit in there. Went to the show with you.
We came back to my house.
Yeah.
To get your truck.
Yeah. You got off stage and everybody went because, again, I made that another going away party for me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, and you're welcome for selling so many fucking tickets for
it
you.
Was sold out. I believe it was sold out. It was a CD release party.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah.
Years ago.
So we go back to your house, we go back to Greg's, get my truck, and fucking hit the road.
Yeah.
First stop, Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
So Brauss knows less about cars than I do. And that's not saying a whole lot because I don't know a whole lot. We get to Oklahoma City, so that's 8 hours from here because we did 8-hour shots.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we get to Oklahoma City, pull into this like bar restaurant, right? Yes.
Yes, first. Yeah, that was the first stop.
Because remember, we tried to leave there and the truck wouldn't start.
Yeah, that's right.
The bartender was fucking, dude, wherever we were at in Oklahoma City that night anyway. And we had some guns with us too. I brought all my guns to Arizona. And this will come.
You just gave me a buck knife. That was it.
Yeah, well, this will come later in the story.
Yeah.
So this bartender comes out from behind the bar, jumps my truck. We're able to get it over to AutoZone.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, I remember.
So we're in AutoZone. Now, Semper Fi Fund gave me a check. My mailman, I talked to him like the day before in Hazelwood. Sure. And I'm like, dude, I have to leave tomorrow. Like, do you know what time you'll be here? Because like I have to get my mail. He goes, and I told him the whole story. He goes, listen, dude, I'll just stop by here if I have it. I'll just come by out of my route to give it to you, man. I want to help you out. So this fucking dude, so I have to get there. We have to get there before they close, or else like we don't have an apartment to stay in.
Right.
I had budgeted.
We probably didn't care though.
No, well, I did. I was stressing, dude. But yeah, because I had to be there on Monday to check in at school. So we go to AutoZone. I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. And then what happened with that chick? No, you kept fucking with me.
Nah, yeah, I guess I was driving you nuts while you're sitting there trying to talk to the guy.
Yeah, you just kept talking like, hey, man, what's going on around?
And obviously I was pissing Dominic off, and he's like, why don't you go do something useful? Go get those chicks' numbers. And it's like 3 hours up in C3 or whatever. I go over there, come back with the numbers.
I was sitting on the curb at this time, like, what the fuck am I doing, dude?
Well, he's contemplating what he's doing this live. He told me to get me shit.
You walk over and hand me this piece of paper. I go, what the fuck is this? And you're like, you told me to go get the numbers. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. So that like broke it up. But so there was a shop like right down the street.
Oh yeah.
We were able to get over there somehow.
This was on a weekend, like on a Sunday.
Exactly. See,
because like nothing was open.
I know. I got my days fucked up. It doesn't really matter. But
right.
So the dudes from AutoZone knew the guy who owned that repair shop.
Right.
They called him. This fucking guy. It was my alternator in my S10 that went out
on his day off.
Came in while the shop was closed. They're like, "Hey man, this dude's trying to get to school. He's like stuck here. Is there any way you can come help him?" And he did it for like next to nothing. I think he just charged me. We got so lucky.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
So now that the truck is fixed, well, we're staying in Oklahoma City. So, I mean, might as well go meet some locals.
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma City was the like 3-tier strip club place, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. And it was all rock music. I just remember it was just all rock music. It was like just wild.
I remember Zombie. I remember White Zombie coming on.
White Zombie coming on. I just remember like beautiful women everywhere. I don't know how we walked into the right spot.
Oklahoma City slaps, dude.
Did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a good time.
We fucking raged in that strip club.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We
might have spent most of our money before we even made it to Arizona, the very first shot.
Thanks, Semper Fi Fund. All your money went to some fucking whore. We were completely blacked out. I was completely blacked out drunk.
That was a 3 to 5 days a week occurrence.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, at least.
But out of town partying is way better.
Yes, it is.
Because you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And I didn't care what you thought. You didn't care what I thought. So we just rolled, you know? And
we're the type of bros.
We didn't have to apologize the next morning. You know,
we're the type of bros that it's like, whatever happens, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I know you wouldn't remember or I wouldn't.
No.
We could have hit pissed each other off, whatever. It didn't matter.
So as far as St. Louis goes, if you're not from here, we have what's called the East Side. It's East St. Louis. It's technically in Illinois.
Sure.
It's fucking weird why they call it that. Anyway, it is a dump, and I do not recommend that you go there at all unless you are going to these strip clubs. If you're in St. Louis and you want to go to a strip club, go to East St. Louis, but go directly to the strip club and do not wander outside of that area because there's like 4 of them in the one parking lot and then like over to Brooklyn and shit. But our strip clubs are like, they're cool. How long has it been?
Oh,
when me, you, my brother-in-law, let's not name names.
Talk about Benzo.
That's exactly who I'm talking about. Let's not name names, but like it's been a long time since we all did this.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't know what they're like now, but I'm sure they're the same thing. But it's just
I'm good
like
on all that now.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, but it's just you walk in and it's a strip club. This fucking place in Oklahoma City, like I said, it was like 3 tier. But
it's on steroids.
I thought crazy. 1 tier. I thought it was like different music or something.
It might have been. I just remember the main floor was just
heavy.
Zombie, Pantera.
Yeah.
I mean, all the heavy bands.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like the chicks were all dressed up in goth, but they were gorgeous.
I remember dreads on this one chick, and I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
All
tattooed. It was wild.
So that is all that I remember of the night. But the next morning, we wake up in this hotel room. Now, all my stuff, everything that I own is in the back of this truck. So before
I thought we unloaded it.
That's what I'm saying. Before we went out, we unloaded everything into this fucking shitty hotel.
It was a Motel 6 for sure.
We wake up the next day. There is Sonic everywhere. Now, I have some firearms, a lot of time behind some firearms. Brauss admittedly did not at the time.
Yes.
He got a buck knife, and I, on my bed was, whatever it was a shotgun, and then I had some other but I remember waking up and there were tater tots everywhere.
But it was like, I don't know why we did that. I guess it had to be a really bad area we were staying in. I mean, we didn't have any money, nothing.
Well, we didn't know anything, so I'm sure I got all like tactical and lame. It was like, we need to make sure we've got security set up, and it's like,
here's my buck knife. You can't handle this high powered shotgun.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay,
shitty
dude.
12 gauge. Yeah, yeah. So, all right, back up and on the road. Had to load up the truck again. Now, Next stop, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes, sir.
Another 8 hours away.
Yeah.
Matt Brauss just brought up our tattoo artist around here. Well, it's been a long time since either of us have gotten tattooed either, but Matt Hodell owns a shop. The last I have heard, owns a shop called Ragtime.
Ragtime, South St. Louis?
Yep.
South St. Louis.
Central Rear End.
Really?
Ish. Morgan Ford. If you're in
Yes,
St. Louis,
yes,
look up
Morgan
Ragtime Tattoo, Matt Hodell, tell him the Dominator sent you. He's our fucking bro. At the time, it was like, for me, it was like every couple weeks we got to know this dude really well, sent him anybody that knew us. Again, back then, being like fully tattooed was cool and like kind of outlawed. Chicks dug it. And
Right.
it was totally like,
And we had the most.
yeah. And it was like, oh my God, you guys are so tattooed. And,
Yeah.
oh my God, dude. Fuck it. So I'm going to, we'll go back to heading to Albuquerque. Brauss calls me one night and says, hey man, I need you to come with me. I need you to wingman with me tonight. I'm like, yeah, dude, this is what I live for. We go to a bar called Hot Shots here in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Brauss, where were you working at the time? The catering thing? The Russian chicks? It was a
I
catering.
remember some Russian girls.
It was either a golf club.
I think I was at a golf club. I think they were servers or, I was serving back then, I think. I don't know.
So he goes, dude.
I remember some Russians.
He goes, he said, what he said was, there are these hot commie Russian chicks. And I was like, nice, let's do it. We go in and we're sitting down. Now, when I say Russian, off the boat, off the plane, didn't speak a ton of English at all.
No.
As the night
Smoked
goes,
like a chimney.
yeah.
Your teeth were brown, too.
Yeah. As the night goes on, like, we're trying our best. And I remember they started speaking Russian and like laughing at us.
I'm sure.
And I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? I remember I was talking to you like as if you could translate. I go, what the fuck are they talking about? You're like, I don't fucking know, dude. They're Russian. Well, turns out they were making fun of us because we were tattooed.
Oh, yeah.
So that backfired on us. But yeah, that was actually the night that I met the mother of my children.
Yeah, at Hot Shots.
I got a button on here that goes, wah, 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 but I know I did.
So I guess that is kind of.
Thanks, you motherfucker.
Yeah, well.
But you got me my
It's
children.
good
Yeah,
and bad,
so
right?
I don't regret it.
I don't want to say that. You know.
No, it ain't bad at all. So we're headed to Albuquerque. We know that's our next stop. Matt Hodell, our tattoo artist from here, used to tattoo in Albuquerque.
I think he owned
Duke City.
Yeah, Duke City.
Yeah. So before we left and shit, he was like, dude, if you guys are like heading out that way, make sure you get a hold of me and I'll set you up with some of the family from out there. I'm like, fucking hey, we got another place to go. So we show up at their house and we were like in contact with him.
Yeah. I think we called him in between Oklahoma City and Albuquerque.
We're like 4 hours
I was
away.
like, hey. He's like, you guys are really going that way, huh? We're like, yeah.
Nobody believed we were going to do the stupid shit we did ever.
No. I mean, little do they know some things that happen later when they get videos.
We're fucked up. Yeah.
So, yeah, we just call him, and he's like, we tell him our thing. We're almost to Arizona. Well, not really. We're like 16 hours away, but our next stop, Albuquerque. He goes, let me set you up. I'll call you back. Give me a few minutes. Calls us back, gives us an address.
Yeah.
And we just pull up.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a barbecue going on, and we just start partying. We didn't even know these people at the house.
You wouldn't have fucking thought.
No.
Because we walked in like, what's up?
No. They treated us like family. I think remember they had a stand-up bass. I started playing that thing.
Well, was it a stand-up bass or like a cello?
No, it was a stand-up bass.
Yeah.
That dude was good.
Yeah, he was
good.
He was slapping him. But they took us to a bar. We were snorting coke off a key in the bathroom and shit, doing key bumps. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember all that. And then slingers in the morning from the wife.
Oh my God, dude.
I still remember that.
No, it's called Huevos Rancheros, I think.
Huevos Rancheros.
The fucking Albuquerque, dude. I was like, I do not want to eat any of this shit, but she was like, no, trust me, it's the best thing for a hangover. And hungover we were.
Yeah, and that was gone quick. And then off to Phoenix.
So Phoenix was next stop. I don't know if anything fun came of that, but I do remember we got like down into the valley and the fucking air conditioning in my truck.
First it was the tip of Texas. I think
Oh,
we were
yeah.
coming through Texas.
Smelling fucking cows.
Oh,
It was just miles of cow shit.
but it was hot as hell through Texas too. I remember that.
Hey, remember when we went by that Dairy Queen? Dude, we walked into this Dairy Queen that had wood paneling everywhere. It was like fucking middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
Texas.
vaguely. That guy was nervous as hell.
They never seen people like us, dude. And I mean, like, I don't know. I'm sure we were just wearing beaters or something, but they were like, what in the fuck just walked in here? You know,
Right.
we both act right. It's not like we're bad people, of course, but it was a small town vibe.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like, just get your shit and get the fuck out. They
They
were really
knew
nice.
we weren't locals, that's for
No,
sure.
yeah, they were really nice. But yeah, we get to Phoenix and I just remember the fucking air conditioning. It was like on, but it wasn't working.
Right.
And
when
we're
we were
like,
coming through Arizona.
yeah, going uphill and shit. And I'm like, I think this truck's gonna fucking blow. It was a
I
good
think people were
truck.
passing us. Like even people riding bicycles passing us on the highway.
18-wheelers were passing us, dude. And I'm like downshifting. I'm like, I can't, I'm gonna blow this fucking truck up, you know. But we got there and we got the apartment.
There was that TV in the back. That's what it was.
Listen to this, dude. I want to say 3607 West Tierra Buena Lane, apartment 417.
I remember Bueno.
Yeah, I'm
did.
pretty sure that was my fucking address.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And so get all unpacked and we went to
Bar.
no, well, yes, of
Of
course.
course.
But we went to a not a homeless, but what's it called when you buy like thrift store?
Did we?
Didn't we get that shitty blue couch that Dan ended up pissing all over? Didn't we?
I don't know if it was that day, but it's, at some point, yeah, we did.
I know
For
we
sure.
went and like got some shit and and then hit the bar.
Yeah.
We're at this fucking bar across the street from the apartment, and I'm like sitting at a table going like, what the fuck am I doing with myself? Like I don't know anything about what I'm going. Brauss comes over with this dude. Hey, I met this dude Jared. He's a Marine. You guys should be bros. And like,
Jared.
turns out we were fucking bros. Still talk to him.
Is that the bar that got shot at?
No, that was a
a
different
different
one.
time?
Yeah.
You're like, get down, you idiot. These
Dude.
guys are just shooting up the bar, dude.
Brauss, he
It
doesn't
was
have.
in Arizona.
He doesn't have. Oh yeah, it was Phoenix. It was just a different bar. He doesn't have a small head. I call him Maceton, his fat head.
Tone.
He's fucking standing up, like wanting to get his fucking see what was going on. I'm
I
like,
was
dude,
trying to
get
get my picture taken.
yeah,
you know?
like dude, get down. You were like Trump the other day. Got your fucking earshot off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you believe that shit?
Wild. Wild. I'll try to do the politic thing too
I
much.
don't do any
but
of
it's unbelievable. Some of the things that I've done in the industry of catering, and I've catered to some of these people that are really high up in the nation, and I think you know this.
Have you?
Oh yeah, about 4 to 5 months ago, I worked a party for Jill Biden.
Really?
Yeah, at a house, and
Was Joe just
About-
sleeping in a chair somewhere?
probably, but probably close to a year before that was we did a party for Kamala Harris, right?
Really?
Yeah. Then check this out. So this is pretty good. So
She's
You
the
know, they
vice
asked
president,
me-
right?
what's that? Yeah.
Oh, that's how much I know.
Vice president, right? So, and I understand security measures are probably different for a vice president compared to a city president, whatnot. I would think it'd be pretty good. But I tell you what, it was at a house, only probably about 30 guests, but
In St. Louis,
in St. Louis, probably right about by
Clayton.
Frontenac.
Yeah.
Like Frontenac,
okay.
of course.
Of course.
Same area.
Yeah.
So it's a lady who has a house over there, high contributor to the
Oh,
Democratic
party.
Probably one of the biggest ones.
Okay.
But anyways, I'm always one of the people who works her house. She only has the same people work the house.
Oh, really?
You know? So anytime someone high profile comes in, it's only a few of us. But this time when the vice president came in, the security is unreal.
Is it?
We're standing outside because we couldn't be in the house when she arrived, but you could just see the motorcade come up. I mean, this street is so long; it has to be a mile.
Yeah.
You know, and just people, you know, the SUVs just stopping along the road as
Yeah.
it's coming in,
Yeah.
right? And helicopters, okay? And I'm thinking,
So
I
wait, do
saw-
you know who this is before? Like, do they tell you it's for her?
I knew. Well, they they had to run our records, and I
Sure.
was a new felon, right?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
very new felon.
Yeah.
And
Not that type of felon, people.
Yeah, and it's not a bad one. It's a couple mistakes from being young, and then it caught up to me and made a mistake when I got older. But,
Yeah.
So they had to run my name. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
They're going to let me do this, right? So my former boss vouched for me and said, no, he's fine or whatever. Well, driving there, I might have ate an extra gummy that day.
Of course.
Well, I'm thinking like the CIA and everybody's following me, so I couldn't even go to the house at first.
The fucking helicopters.
Oh, man. And like, I don't even know if I was supposed to be driving at the time.
Right.
I was paranoid. So I drive up to this gas station and I see like a big old pack of Swedish fish. I was like, this will get me through it. And I just drove to the house with the Swedish fish.
Eating Swedish fish.
So we get there, all this security coming in from everywhere. I mean, you could tell something was up.
Yeah, that's not some dude.
In. Yeah, it's not just someone coming the street. So to get to the distance the other day that guy got, I just, something stinks about the whole story. So for him to get that close through security, I don't understand it whatsoever.
Well, I'm with you. And YouTube is the only media that I absorb. I don't do any social media. So like, luckily I can keep away from that. Alicia's pretty into some things that we don't really talk about because anyway, but one of the dudes named Tim Kennedy, he was a UFC fighter, Green Beret sniper dude. He was saying like, there is zero reason, like, okay, in a like combat or to get a tactical advantage situation, high ground's always the where you want to fucking be.
You learned that in elementary school.
But everyone knows that.
Yes.
And so why that thing? But like my thing is, and this is going to be a little fucked up, but like, and I was wrong too. I thought it sounded like a pistol. It was just small cal far away. But anyway, that angle, I don't know. I don't know how the whole thing worked out, but how it just got a piece of his ear is fucking weird to me. But another thing too, and I think about this and like take him out of the situation. I don't even care who it is.
Sure.
But it's like when it's somebody high profile like that, everybody makes this big fucking deal about it. And my personal view is, of course, a little different because of the people I know, some of the people I know, and you've met some, and the things that they've done. And there's people getting killed every day that no one's fucking talking about. Now, I realize that this is the former. I understand the difference between
a life's a life.
Johnny. Well, Johnny so-and-so from the middle of nowhere, Kansas, who's over there and got killed by somebody. Right. I get that he's not going to get as much, but it's like, all right, so you fucking took a clip to the ear. You know what I mean? Right. Gomez got shot in the face and shot in the shoulder and fought for another hour while he almost bled to death.
Right.
It's like, I don't give a fuck about you.
He's going to play it up.
Fucking right.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
And it's a
they got the perfect picture.
Smart move on his part. This shit is, and I mean, these days there's videos from everywhere. I saw one the other day that did kind of fuck me up. It was on YouTube. Didn't fuck me up at all, but it was really weird. These people were over like off to the side and they saw a dude up on the building.
Yeah.
And they were like,
talking about the guy with the hair.
I don't know. I can't remember. I was looking like at the guy, but they could see the guy like getting into a prone position.
Yeah.
They're like, officer. And they're like,
no radio into the.
Nobody went over there. But it was funny, dude. That Tim Kennedy dude, he was saying like, I'm not talking about male or female. I'm not talking about military or not. I'm talking about this is your job. Your job is to protect. Not the client. Forgot what word he used. He's one of those type of people. But the subject.
Fair.
The one photo, I don't think it was Secret Service. It looked like SWAT, and it could have been Secret Service in like tactical gear and shit. But there's this female behind him, like squatted down with a pistol in her hand. These dudes are at like the high ready with a rifle, getting ready to rock and roll. Yeah. And then on the other one, the chick like walks up there. I mean, it's just to me. But he was saying, he was like, you should be fucking fired. Yeah, everybody should be fucking fired because that like. I've heard that when they're in New York City, like presidents and shit, like, or whatever, probably city, they weld down sewer manhole covers. Like they weld those things down so nobody can pop up and fucking do something stupid. Jesus. So it's like, you guys, where did that, Pennsylvania? In the middle of fucking nowhere, Pennsylvania? Yeah. And it was like a small, like if you look at the aerial, it was like not this huge arena.
No. And for that not to be completely secure just blows my mind. And that's, I mean,
Well, but there's buildings, right?
we'll never know.
Come on, dude. You know,
we'll never know the truth about what went on that day, and it's just a fact.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. We'll just let the mind wander.
Yeah.
And
well,
go on from
it'll be used to advantages and disadvantages, of course. But
sure.
check this out. My buddy Adametz, who I was in with, he lives in Pittsburgh. That little town is like 25 minutes from him.
Sure.
His girlfriend, fiance, I think. It's like whatever. But her grandparents are neighbors with that kid. Like she knew that dude.
Shut the front door.
Like just knew him growing up. When you go to your grandparents, Timmy or whatever his fucking name is next door.
Wow. Small world. All over the place.
Weird looking dude though too, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the balls though, right? The balls to take multiple shots at somebody like that's fucking ballsy, dude.
Man.
I mean, he's dead for it, so like
Sure.
whatever, but
it's a damn shame what happened to the others too, just for being there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And probably more importantly, I don't know about more importantly, but
well, hopefully things cool off. I mean,
I just can't wait to go back.
There's a lot of hate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hate.
I just can't wait to go back to work, dude, because it's like one side of the table is this and one side of the table is that. And I'm like, you guys are all arguing over the exact same thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And nobody gives a fuck about you, but I don't know. I'll probably just stay off of politics because I don't, and I think maybe I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks like sometimes I'm wrong for being so blissfully ignorant to the whole thing.
Sure.
But it's like, to me, I cannot invest my time into some shit like that because it's like, oh, so-and-so's going to do this for us. No, he isn't.
Right.
No, he isn't. You know what I mean? He didn't give a fuck about you.
No.
And so it's like, I've just got way too much other shit going on to really get all bent out of shape about. I always talk about the gas prices.
Right.
If there was so-and-so in office, the gas prices would be lower. I'm like, hey, dude, if you don't want to pay the gas prices and sit at home instead of going to work, then that's what you should do.
Right.
But bitching about it, I don't give a fuck what the gas price is. I'm going to go. I have to go get gas because I have to drive and I have to go to work. Yeah. Whatever the fucking gas price is, I'm going to pay it. Yeah. And so it's like, why do you get yourself all wrapped up and fucking twisted out about some shit you can't control?
I don't know why. We love letting things and people rent spaces in our head.
Yeah.
And it's just,
nowadays,
that's
dude,
what we do.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jared, who you met at that bar in Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah.
I looked him up a long time ago just because I had lost contact. Well, I lost contact with fucking.
I'm trying to still remember what he looks like.
Like
I remember
Dan.
I remember
stocky
Dan.
little dude. Stocky little dude.
Was he a little much at first?
A lot much. Yeah.
Okay, but I remember Dan more. Than Jared.
He ended up fucking killing himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a fucking
Another
drag.
One.
Yep.
We've known a lot of people.
Yeah.
To do that.
Well, the heroin too.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a lot different than a full suicide, but
same thing.
It's the same fucking thing.
It is.
You know?
It really is.
I remember telling Manis, him I love you one night when I really found out and you could really tell.
Yeah.
I hugged him one night when we were leaving. I said, I fucking love you so much, man. I wish you would stop, but I love you so much. He was like, why are you talking to me like that?
Yeah.
Because I know what's fucking coming.
It's crazy. I mean, what the drug will do to you, because he was just so much fun. And, like, he'd be out hanging out and all this, God. And then like you knew when he would disappear.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, dude, there's just like you felt helpless. There's nothing you could do about it. You couldn't like go find him because we didn't know where the hell he was. You know, or I mean, it's just it's crazy what things will do to you. I mean, you've had drugs affect you. I've had drugs affect me. I mean, the things it does to us and what we'll do is just it's unbelievable. Completely
like rewires the person that you are.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was talking to my brother-in-law the other day. He is a neuroscientist. This is Alicia's younger sister, Alex, who's now a NASA librarian. I mean, these people.
What is that?
I think she still works for NASA. If she doesn't at this point, she used to, but she has got her master's degree in the library field. I don't know what the fuck that consists of, but these people are super, super smart. They're awesome, awesome people.
Yeah.
But he studies the effects of nicotine on our brain.
Interesting.
Which is fucking hits me right at home as I sit here with my empty cans of Rogue nicotine pouches. Fucking pussy. But he was saying something about addiction.
Sure.
And And the decisions you make under the influence, is that you or is that your addiction?
Right.
This is when the story came up about smoking dope where my dad just died at yesterday.
Sure.
And I was like, you know, I can say just that story, that was definitely my addiction. Because while I had that tumultuous relationship with my dad and all that other shit,
Yeah.
if I walked into a house, just the smell alone now, I would fucking throw up, dude. I'm
Right.
like, oh my God, this is fucking disgusting.
Does it smell like embalming fluid or
Oh,
something? Or?
it smelled like human death.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a dog in there with him that was shitting all over the place because he was dead for like 3 days. So the fucking poor dog.
Never knew that.
Yeah, he sat there for a few days.
Oh.
But so like in that just that example, I can say 100% sure that was my addiction.
Right.
Like, especially sitting here now, 8 years sober, clean or whatever.
Yeah, and you could start pinpointing, you know, where, you know, you think it was addiction when it was really you, or like combos. And it's,
well,
when your brain starts clearing up, you start thinking of these things.
Right.
You know?
Certain things I did just as me, and I'm a motherfucker, and like, you know, running dope and shit like that.
Right.
I just always kind of got a kick out of it for the worst reasons in the world. But you know, but that one example for sure was my addiction. But I was thinking about that when we were just talking. Like, can you imagine if you and I started shooting heroin?
I say that to this day when anybody who I meet, if we're talking about past stuff, oh, we used to be wild in our 20s. That's the one thing I consistently say, thank God I never tried heroin, because I would definitely not be here, because it would have been awesome from what I hear.
Yeah.
For the minute or two or whatever. It's just, I am very grateful I didn't get into that. I mean, we've had how many people die off that? It's just
Too many.
Too many. And it's just, with our addicting personalities, it would have not been a good.
Yeah.
It would not have been good.
I've said it before, like, I think right in the middle of all of that, I knew that's not who I am and what I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that this isn't the way. I don't want my story to end like Rob Manis.
Right.
As much as we love that dude and he's our fucking bro, that is a shit way to end it. Yeah. You know, and it's really unfortunate and all that. And you know what I mean? It's terrible, but it's like, I knew that I didn't want to be a drug addict. I just didn't know how to not be a drug addict.
Oh, and at that time when, we think that that's the only thing that makes us happy, you know? So.
Well, and it did.
It really did. I mean, the painkillers, the opiates, whatever it is, dude, everything.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel better, you know? And I don't know. I mean, it made me more productive. Some things did. Some things make me more productive, you know? And it's hard to get rid of when you want to, you know?
It's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
But I said, like, I know for sure, had I started with heroin, it would have been a wrap, dude. Because I'm such an emotional person.
Sure.
That, like, if I'm having a good day, we're gonna go a little harder. If I'm having a bad day, we're gonna go a lot fucking harder.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be a terrible outcome.
And at some point, your heart just fucking, you know. Remember those twins? I don't even give a fuck. Hobson.
Yeah.
Do you hear the story about those dudes?
You know, they lived, when I moved to North County, they were some of they're twins, right?
That's right.
I lived on Bienville, and then if you crossed over Hottishell, they were on that street.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was like one of the first ones I met, but I never was close to.
Yeah.
But I do remember Sean and someone else.
Sean and Colin.
Yeah. What now?
So they went down to get dope.
Yeah.
They had they wrapped some, like, let's just call it paper or like receipts or something that could resemble money. They wrapped it in like a 10 or a 5 or a 20 or whatever it was, just rolled it and handed it to dude.
Yeah.
Dude quickly realized that he was getting fucking scammed.
Right.
Shot the one in the head.
Jesus.
On sight, shot him in the head as the car was taking off. So now you're in the back seat with your twin brother.
Sure.
You guys have been on heroin for a long time, so it's like it's pretty much over unless you get a miracle.
Right.
I don't know what happened to the other brother. I hope, if anyone ever hears this, I hope they're doing great.
Yeah.
But so now your twin brother's head is
just
gone.
Yeah.
They did not, from the story that I heard, so if you go to a hospital and take a person there, like you need to be getting questioned too. And it's like, it's a problem to just show up and dump somebody.
Like in the movies.
yeah. That shit don't happen.
Right.
So like they finished what they were doing before reacting on what just happened. I mean, like, and you know these dudes, you knew them since you were a little kid. I knew them before all of that. They weren't bad dudes. We were all stoners and shit. Like, but you know, smoking weed in high school is normal.
Crazy.
Well,
Is this like a recent thing? I'm assuming.
no, this was years ago.
Oh, years ago.
But it's like,
I think I kind of remember something, but the things that were happening around that time, it was so many. Like, I mean, people that you were associated with would die or whatever. I don't even know who's dead and who's alive anymore.
I know.
I mean, it's sad to say.
Casey Madeline, we lost him.
Well, shit, I was looking through even my when you guys had the surprise party, my 30th birthday party.
Yeah. Where was it?
At my house. Remember, Cassie was pregnant. You
Yeah,
and Jimmy
yeah.
pick up a keg and you dropped it. Half of it was foam.
Yeah.
But we still had some keg
Yeah.
stands out of it and all that. I just remember El Brock up.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
His just flashing our beer
Sure,
bellies. But
sure.
to look back at those pictures and see like Dave Weinstein
Yeah.
not with us.
And that
Rob
wasn't
Maness,
drugs.
and no.
We don't want to put that
no,
on, but
no,
yeah.
absolutely. But just to see these people and like, damn, the people we hung out with, it just got small. But like we hung out with a lot of people, so it's like all these areas just got small,
Yeah.
and it was just weird.
Well, it's like that Back to the Future photo. Remember how people started slowly disappearing in his photo? And it's like, if there was a photo of all of us at Mattingly's or something, you know what I mean? How many people would no longer be in that photograph? Would be fucking, you would lose it, man.
It's crazy. And it's I mean, weekly, you know, I mean, this guy who I was friends with at the catering company I was working with, he just died yesterday. He was on that Diners, I can never say this.
Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives?
Yeah.
Triple D?
Restaurant over in Maplewood. He used to run that.
Really?
I don't remember what the name of the restaurant is, but it was plastered online. I was like, dang, he's a good dude. You know, I mean, it's just couple, you know, in a year I might be like, hey, is that guy still alive?
Yeah,
you know, because you don't know, because there's been so many.
And when you unplug and you like take yourself out of the scene, which Brauss and I both have, he just said that we still keep in contact, not as much as we would both like to, but just life is busy. But when you take yourself off of like the social media and everything else and you stop hearing about it, it's like, I don't want to fucking talk. Like when I run into Bauer now and again, you know, he's like, "Oh man, did you hear about so and so?" I'm like, "Yeah, hey." Every time
it's hard not to, because it's a conversation.
I know,
starter, you know.
But it's like every time I fucking see anybody anymore, they're like, "Oh, did you hear about so and so?" It's like, God damn it, man.
Yeah. And I mean, what's sad to say is now you're just like, "Oh, that sucks," you know, because you don't have any feelings left.
It's gotten so numb.
And my best friend committed suicide at I was 22.
Yeah, we were kids. Yeah,
Mike, and after that, it's just like every death's a little easier. It might sound eerie, but it is what it is.
It's fucking.
Got Ryan, and
it's difficult. Yeah, man.
And it's crazy. But you still think about those first ones that died when you go to a funeral now. I don't know if you do, but like I go to a funeral now, I'm thinking of Mike Huber and Richie Hart.
Sure.
And the first ones that died, and it's just like you start getting emotional. Like, whoa, like maybe I do have some emotion left in me. You know
it's
what I
still
mean?
there for sure, but you're right. It was like when the school shooting shit.
Right.
Columbine was a fucking problem for everybody.
Right.
The nation like shut down, and now it's not that it's any easier. And of course, I guess it depends where it hits you personally, right?
Sure.
So if it happened in blah 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 or St. Peter's or something, of course I'm like, what the fuck, you know? But like, it's gotten to that point where another idiot shot up a movie theater, you know, and it's fucked up. That should not be our reaction,
right?
But
well, in a couple days, we won't even really be talking about the assassination attempt. I mean, we will be more loosely.
It'll be the next thing.
We're not hearing Hawk 2 right now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
We're hearing about the president shot at, and what's next. You know, it's just all the shock's been, I think, taken away, at least for me personally, for some years. It doesn't even shock me anymore. It's crazy.
Well, and like I've said, being unplugged from everything, I hear about a lot of shit at work, and it's like, why even turn the news? Why do you want to do, you know?
Right.
It's hard enough for me to just be on a positive, like, vibe on my own, you know? I've got this internal thing where it's like, first thing in the morning, and it's like, hey, man, life's pretty good, you know? Like, relax, fucking, it's cool. And so, like, the past couple years, I've been, like, talking myself out of this thing.
Sure.
From really early in the morning for zero reason. I'm going to get there today and fuck up a weld, and then he's going to say fucking idiot.
Is this when you first wake up?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
me every day.
Oh yeah,
Every day.
yeah, dude. Just
The first 20 minutes are
tormented
hell.
with
It's
Catholic guilt.
Oh Lord.
It's just like, but I've kind of learned how to be like, hey man, don't do this to yourself. What the fuck you get? Because I show up to work,
Yeah.
and none of that happens, or I show up to the thing, and none of that shit happens.
Do you wake up in a panic still at all? Like, I mean, I don't know if that's what you're saying, but I wake up in a not panic attack, but anxiety ridden every morning, and then I just got to talk myself off the ledge. You know,
Is it
I'm
about
saying?
what's going to happen today?
Hell,
Like about
it's everything.
Yeah.
It's like my brain. It's just everything comes at me right when I wake up in
Oh,
the
yeah.
morning, and it's just like,
yeah.
dude, I just want to lay back down and say, screw today or whatever. It's
I
like
hear
it's
you.
a fight for
Yeah.
me to get into my car, and I'm like, man, does other people deal with this? You know, I'm sure they do. You know?
Absolutely, they do. For me, just me, I'm a morning person, and I get up at 3:40.
Jesus.
Like I love waking up in the morning and just like getting ready to rock and roll. But it's like, it's that negative self-talk
Yeah.
that I just got to beat the fuck out of it first thing. I'm like, no, we're not doing, and it doesn't always work. And some days I'm like, fuck this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just, today is not a good day. But I found for me generally when I start talking to other people, because I don't want, if you're the first person I see today, unless I'm just having like, it's a serious thing, and then I just get more quiet.
Right.
But if you're the first person I see today, like we're working together, I don't want to put that shit on you.
Right.
So generally, like if I go to Quick Trip in the morning, the same girl's always there, and I'm like, hey, morning, and she'll have something cool to say. And I'm like,
Sure.
see, man, that was fucking a waste of energy.
Right.
So I've gotten a lot better at turning it off.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then there's the other stuff that I deal with sometimes. And
Yeah. Well, I feel like now I see more positive. I jump to positive quicker than negative.
Yeah.
Now, which this might have happened within like the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, within the last year, I've gotten myself off quite a few things, and
attaboy.
even stuff I should be taking. I had a little mishap with the doctor.
I got you.
Some things happened, and she prescribed me something. I ended up having a manic episode at work, right?
Really?
And I had to fight through it all the way till I got home and had a panic attack. And so I blow up at the doctor. Long story short, I'm switching jobs, insurances, all that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't get my medication right now from my nutty pills,
Right.
know? And I've been on them a long time. And I was just like, I'm a little nuts as it is. And
Yeah.
It's been a month and a half. Haven't taken those. I've been off blood pressure. Well, quitting drinking, I had a feeling my blood pressure was down. So I bought a blood pressure monitor. I've been monitoring my blood pressure for the last year, and not last year. I lied there. The last month, but I stopped taking, blood pressure medicine about 2 months ago. But anyways, I quit drinking a year ago, but I figured my blood pressure would be down by now, and I mean, it seems to be down. Everything looks good on the charts.
Well, then something good's got to be happening.
I mean, I hate being on medicine, so this is one of my like things. I'm gonna act nutty. I'm swirly or whatever
Sure.
now, just because I'm getting off all this shit.
It's a lot going on.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Busy.
put down cigarettes 5 days ago.
Wow.
Blood pressure medicine, like I said, a month and a half ago with my crazy pills because I couldn't get them prescribed. And now I go back to the doctor in September, but I can't get it. Long story. I want to get off them anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to try. People are going to think it's nuts or whatever, but it is what it is. Quit painkillers. I mean, this is all this is within a year.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And, but I'm starting to see some results.
For sure.
Starting to feel a little bit better about like what I'm going to do for that day. Even waking up is getting better. Like I said, I mean,
Yeah.
for a while there, man, I mean, I feel like I was going to die too.
For sure.
I mean, when
For
you
sure.
got painkillers in your system, you've been drinking all night, you wake up and you're 40 whatever years old and you've been doing it for that long.
Yeah.
And
What am I doing?
what am I doing?
Yeah.
And it's just like a never-ending cycle. Give up one thing, do another. Give up one thing, do another. Back, forth.
Yes, I know.
But I don't know. This one, it seems different now. So
Well, it's like, it's that decision, and it's like, and you can tell people all day long, this is how I did it. And it doesn't, I don't know. I guess it matters, but not really, because like it's up to each individual
yeah,
to do that thing.
it sure is. But man, it is.
And it's a team
It's
effort.
way easier to do it. It's
Yeah.
way easier to start it than to finish it.
For sure.
Or to quit it.
Absolutely.
It's just,
It would be much,
yeah.
but no, it wouldn't, dude, because I look back and I think like, I don't think where I am in my life now, I don't think the addiction thing wouldn't work out. Like it wouldn't work. Alicia's gone.
Oh, no.
Kids are gone. That everything disappears quick for me if I go back down that road, and I am
100%.
very aware of that.
I'm not interested, really. You know, and I'm just not interested in going back down that road.
No, it's fucking, it's horrible. It's,
I mean, you get 4 DWIs, you get a felony. Like, dude, I mean, getting this last one, and I haven't talked to you much about this, but getting this last one.
I told you this fucking podcast was going to, like, it brings it out of you, dude. I'm telling you, this is going to help somebody.
It was a nightmare. I mean, nobody really knows about it. It was February 2022, and I was dating this gal, and we went out for a little day rendezvous at the casino, drinking, just being stupid. Like I was 20-something.
Those are the
like
best days.
Idiot.
I know.
But it was like so long and far between. I don't know if it's because I was dating again and I'm out here, you know.
Sure, something to be happy about.
You know. So we go out day drinking, and she couldn't hang because I go back to my 20-year-old self, you know.
Of course.
And we go to the house, and she's getting sick, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go pick us up a pizza while I go to a bar, right?
Yeah.
I picked up the pizza.
I
picked up the steak, but I sure as hell ended up in a ditch about a half mile from my house on the way home.
Did you really?
Yeah. I couldn't get the car out, open the door. I'm holding a pizza in one hand, a steak in the other. And this guy's like, you all right, man? I was like, yeah, man, give me a ride. Get me the hell out of here, you know? So
Yeah.
get a ride to my house. And I don't know. I guess I passed out. And next thing you know, cop was there. And my dumb ass just walked outside. I was so discombobulated.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I realized, I was like, oh, no, this is a felony. I mean, I've gotten every single chance from DWIs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
that sucks, dude.
Waking up that next morning, my phone was still in my car. I didn't know where it was towed, dude. I'm by myself,
Yeah.
dude. And I had a buddy. He showed up, dude. This guy, Bob, who worked for me, he was my property manager when I was the director of operations for the catering company, right?
Yeah.
And he just showed up, dude. 60-something-year-old man, looks like a construction worker, right? He ain't gonna show up. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right,
you
right.
wouldn't expect him to show up.
Yeah.
Because he knew I was fucked up.
Yeah.
He's like, he won't say it, but he knows, dude. Like, he knew I thought my life was over.
You needed
Showed
help.
up. He's like, dude, let's go for a ride. All right, cool. And then just day by day, it started getting easier, you know? Well, 8 months later, you know, this was the day after I had gotten arrested. 8 months later, I get nothing in the mail. Not one of those lawyer letters, nothing. I'm not on CaseNet. I'm like, how the hell did I get away with this, right?
Yeah.
Sure as hell. I mean, I'm looking up laws, you know, if they don't, you know, put something in motion within a year, it's gone. I'm like, okay, I'm reading, I'm Googling
4 more months.
everything.
Yeah.
And of course it comes. And so, I mean, I take the felony. I knew I was going to have to take it, but I got a good lawyer, and it was out in, you know, Hillsborough. So it was either 30 days in jail or 480 community service. Take the community service, and I'm just chipping away at that.
Yeah.
And, slap a breathalyzer in my car for 10 years. So
Really?
Yeah. So my thing is too, it's like I got the safeguard too, you know? I got the safeguard in my car. I drive every morning.
What's the safeguard?
I got a breathalyzer in my car.
Right,
I can't
right.
drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what's crazy is that I'm going through this whole probation process and how laxed it is what county I'm in,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like, well, I said to him, I was like, there's nothing in here about alcohol. They're like, oh yeah, you just, you know, you can't drink and drive. I'm like, you're gonna let me drink? I did it for 3.5 years, 10 years ago.
So I could continue the same behaviors just as long as I don't drive this car.
But 10 years ago, I went through the DWI court to avoid a felony, and they're piss dropping me every couple days in Clayton. But now I'm hardly. I mean, I got a breathalyzer. I'm doing my community service, and I mean, I'm going to Chicago this weekend. I've been a felon. I've been out of the not country, but you know, went on a work trip.
Yeah,
and
right,
did this
right.
twice in a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my first year. I'm like,
It's not that strict.
but it feels like it's like they're giving me enough room to breathe to where like maybe I'm trying to figure some things out about myself. Does that make sense?
It does.
So I'm not having to like court and getting pissed off at the system to make, because then maybe I would have an excuse to go drink. I don't know.
think so.
But it's been more lax, and I've just been really, really thankful for the whole situation.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I go in there and I clean cat piss and shit.
Oh my God, dude.
I hate cat. I hate cats.
That photo you sent me.
480 hours. Yeah, cats jumping over me. I got clawed a couple times.
How the fuck did you get mixed in with that for your community
Well,
service?
my probation, you can get 8 hours at a time there. I've done the food pantries, but you can only get a couple hours.
Yeah, right. I guess.
And what I have to get ones that are like supervised.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I can't be like, I'm gonna go cut my dad's church grass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Wow.
but yeah, so I'm doing that now, and it's the guy says to me like first second day, he goes, "What are you so happy about?" I'm like, brother, I'm alive. Dude.
I'm not in jail.
I
I'm
am
alive.
I'm
My
not
son's
in
healthy.
jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, what's the use, dude? I don't know. It's just that guy. He says, I see all these probation people coming here just pissed off, and like the system did him wrong. The system did him wrong. I'm like, dude, I fucked the system more than I got caught. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
You're in the green for sure.
So I just try to take everything as a positive. It just seems to be working out better. And like, I don't know. My neighbor who I hang out with a lot now, he actually quit drinking about a month before I quit. I say I quit, but I had a couple beers.
I know what you mean.
I don't want to say, I'm 1 year, but I'm not really, but whatever.
Going out day drinking and driving is a little bit different than sitting at your neighbor's.
Yeah, well, no, he doesn't drink down there.
Well, I'm saying.
So, he had quit, and he's, congratulations to him. Sunday's his 1 year, and dude, and I've just followed right behind him, you know. And yesterday I swung by his house, and he's like, huh? He goes, still ain't smoking them cigarettes, huh? I was like, it's kind of boring, by yourself. He goes, I'm starting to think about quitting. So to be a positive influence now compared to like, dude, I wrecked your fucking life. You wrecked my life.
Of course.
We're a shitty influences on each other.
Yeah.
But to like do it in a positive way now,
right?
I think it's gonna. I think I got a shot.
You know, of course you do. Of course you do.
So
it's
not
just
all the times we thought we had a shot, though.
No. Well, and I said that the other day to my brother-in-law. Like statistically, I'm not supposed to be in the situation I'm in. Like it was, what I mean? It was just like, oh, I figured. Yeah. When at the 30-year high school reunion, everybody, what happened have you heard about Dominic Master? Sure. Yeah, he's doing life. Yeah, I mean that makes total sense.
Or dead.
Yeah, but it's like,
we had fun, so it's not all depressing.
Dude, I can't say that
there's some memories we have
Yeah.
that I don't think could ever come out on this thing. I mean, it probably could because I feel like I'm getting a little more comfortable in front of this thing. But
I think it's good stuff, though.
Story.
Yeah,
it is, and it makes us who we are now. But it's a story, man.
Yeah.
It's a book. I mean, I've been told, why did you write a book?
I know. I want to
I'm
start.
sure you've been told.
I want to start writing, dude. Just to do it. Who cares if anybody ever sees it? But just to get it out,
It's insane.
With the drinking thing, and that's why a minute ago I said sober, and then I said clean. Because going over there to the Dersh's house and having a couple to where Alicia and I are going to walk home. Like my kids are generally not around when I have a couple. Like
Sure.
We were in Branson the other day. Her and I went down to the pool. I had one vodka Sprite. And then on the second one, I was like, I can't even finish this thing. And two used to be while we were getting dressed before we went into the kitchen to actually start pre-gaming for the show. You know what I mean? Like 2 drinks is it's child's play. But it's like, but so I can kind of let loose a little bit down there. But Alicia, and for all the right reasons in the world, I can tell it makes her nervous.
Yeah.
And at this point in life, she like might have a mom water or two. Have you ever heard of mom waters? Mom waters is watered down Kool-Aid with vodka. Okay. So they're like, it's a problem because they're so easy to drink.
Yeah.
But like,
at least I was drinking vodka, and vodka water and a little bit of Mio.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Like a cricket hat,
Yeah.
I mean, up to a year ago, I was half a gallon,
A day? Or at a hit?
Well, half goes a fifth or whatever it is.
Wow.
Half of that big bottle, and then
it's not even
some fireballs on the way home because I had to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But so
it's not that long ago.
Yeah. She'll have like a couple, and then I can tell when she gets like nervous. And I don't like that feeling because I know I'm doing that to her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But then like some nights I'm pointing at their house right now because that's like, if I'm going to have a couple, it's like with him.
Right.
And we sit around and like normally our whole families are all together. They got a bunch of kids. We got a bunch of kids.
Sure.
It's nothing like what,
It ain't what we were saying.
you know what I mean?
It's not when we were
It's a
out.
different thing.
It
I
is.
went to the air show the other day. Bauer,
Chesterfield?
yeah, he works down there. We were like a half a block. Like we could see the planes taking off.
Yeah. I've been down there many times.
It was a total of like 6 hours that we were there.
Yeah.
I think I think it was a Bud Light. I got a Bud Light from it. I opened it and I'm like, okay, I never liked the
You're
taste
Bauer?
of. Yeah. Bauer Jenkins.
You're like, uh-oh.
No. He was like, yeah, I mean, I didn't think you drank
awkward.
anymore. I'm like, I'm having a beer. Shut the fuck up, you know? And even Savvy was like,
I get it.
Are you drinking? And I'm like,
Oh,
Savvy,
imagine having your first beer after rehab. That's always awkward, you know? I've done that. Not you.
but see, I didn't go to rehab for alcohol. I mean, I'm for sure not supposed, but I remember snorting my first pill after rehab. But
You went to rehab?
yeah.
I didn't know. Did I know that? Do you remember when I went?
You had to have.
Do you remember when I went? After I got
Which
those
one?
2 hit
Didn't you
run
go?
car accidents.
Didn't you go once or twice?
No, just once.
No.
It was, you were with me. I had 2 hit and run car accidents, and I drove to Boonville.
I was with you.
Yeah, well, you went to my work Christmas party, and we partied for 2 days straight. I hit 2
Oh
cars.
yeah.
And then I drove to I was partially hiding from cops. And, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You forgot about that. Remember we stopped by Wes's, get a case of Red Bull? You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's probably
Oh
been some
God.
cases. Couple,
You went to
We
rehab?
had a couple girls. Remember, I rented a party van, and we had like all these girls, and we went to my work Christmas party. Do you remember, in my apartment, me and my brother. Remember all this stuff?
Your poor brother, dude. He was like, "How am I fucking related to this idiot?"
Oh man, I still though. I believe we were on because it ended up being me, you, Nick, Anna, Con, and Tani. We were
Oh
say
God,
that two,
yeah,
3 times.
yeah.
It ended up being us 3 were the lone survivors.
Yeah.
And then we hit a couple cars. He was in my back seat, passed out. Me and you were still going.
Oh
hard.
shit. Sorry about
And,
that, people.
So then, I don't know, whatever day it was, when I finally passed out, dude, I woke up in the morning. Man, I can't believe
Watch yourself.
I can't believe I'm remembering this. But like, dude, I felt so ashamed of myself leaving that morning. Dude, I can just remember driving away, and I think I was looking at my rearview mirror, and I see my brother, dude, and I could just tell he was just crushed, dude.
He's so squared away and like not like us.
I mean, it just
Shame.
it still messes with me.
The shame is a big deal though too,
It's
and it's a good teaching tool, you know.
It is.
But like,
hey, he did great. He got to see me do all this stuff.
Absolutely.
He is. Man, I got 3 awesome nephews. One beat cancer. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
He beat cancer
it's fucking
a
awesome.
year or so ago. Maybe less. I'm really bad with
I got you.
times. I think I got some 8 up from the past, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing awesome. They all compete at very high levels.
That's
in
great.
Sports, and it's insane. But,
Yeah.
man,
But so
that's crazy.
So I know that we got there at 10 o'clock because the road was closing in Chesterfield. They closed the road down. So like we had to get where we were going early. I had a single beer at I think like 11:30 and I knew the show didn't even start until 3:30. So my point is like, I gave myself like so much time. We ate, I don't know how many fucking bottles of water I drank. We took a case of water there and I came back with 2. So it's like, there was zero, intoxication going on whatsoever, but it's just like,
Does it feel weird though? Like, I mean, like to just like order a beer, you know, and like I know all the shit you've been through. You quit drinking for a long time.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But does it feel awkward to you? Like when you order a beer, or like it's like, I don't know.
It's almost like ordering your first one to me. I'm always like, can I, you know, and people are like, don't be so fucking weird about
You like
it.
order the beer, and then the bartender turns around. It's God. You sure about that?
Oh, fuck.
That's how I feel when
I don't know. But there, I'll tell you, there are those times, and I guess it's just the company you're with, but there are those times when it's like, man, to have a couple of the dudes you included over like for a day and barbecue, and if you had a pool, like it would just be fucking fun to do without all the madness and craziness, you know?
Yeah.
But like when I do hook up with a couple of the dudes, it's very similar
Yeah.
to the way we
That's
were
what's
doing
the
it fucking
tough
20
part,
years ago.
man.
And
That's
I'm
why
like, dude,
I don't.
how are you guys still doing this?
Yeah.
You know, and they're all like, well, you Mr. fucking going for runs and working out and stuff. I'm like, you can't tell me that you feel good.
It's tough though, because I could sit here and say, like, you go back to the, people that we grew up with, they're doing the same thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just moved to Imperial to do the same damn thing.
You're
You know what
not-
I'm saying?
I hear you.
So it's like, I mean, I get it though. It's like, but it doesn't feel like there's movement, but I'm not moving over here. I'm just starting to move,
Right. Right.
personally.
I
and
got
all
you.
that, and
I
it's
got
just-
you.
Man, it's tough.
But-
I don't really know where we're going.
I do. It's that thing that I have talked about to fucking nauseum, people, places, and things.
Yeah.
And if you don't fucking change those, you're not gonna. You do the same thing every day. Blah blah blah. You're not. Nothing's gonna fucking change. And it's like, while it sounds like fun sometimes, I know that it's not gonna be a good idea for me.
sure.
You know. And
Yeah.
so it's like I just have to protect myself, and like, I don't want my kids to see that shit anymore. Luckily, I got done with all my madness before they were really old enough to kind of download all of it.
Yeah.
I know I'm sure they're going to remember some things, but I think most of the damage
I
was
think you did all right for yourself,
very much so. And
mean-
and I got to be proud of it, but it's just
Dude, there's no way. I don't think if we would have kept hanging out, even if we were both like, dude, we got to get sober. I don't know if it would have worked.
I'm not sure it would've.
I think you had to go. I mean, you had to do your thing. Obviously, you got sober.
definitely.
and you had to do your thing. I mean, I tried a few times.
Yeah.
More than a few times. I mean, over and over and over.
Yeah.
Tried. And it just had a hook.
Well, it's the same thing as like you shouldn't date someone who is going through the steps. What's that called? I know it's AA,
the
but
12
like,
steps. Yeah.
but like in the program.
In the program,
You shouldn't date someone else in the program because the codependency and all that stuff. So like sometimes even though we're bros like a motherfucker and you were the best man at my wedding,
Right.
it's still probably not safe if you're really, because like, again, if you and I both click up on that same day and we're both having a bad day or a good day and it's like, dude, fuck this, let's roll. You saying that I might not have been thinking it, but if you said it, I might be like, fucking A, let's go.
It's
and
insane.
3 days later, we show back up with nothing, and it's
Right.
or locked up, and I don't know.
It's insane. Like, I mean, your wedding, it's
What'd you do at my wedding?
It's
What happened at my wedding?
I mean, it's
Alicia brought
I
this
can
up
laugh,
yesterday.
I can laugh about this now, but it wasn't until recently that I could laugh about this.
Sure.
I mean, my buddy gets sober. My best buddy gets sober. What do? I end up going with some chick to the east side. She throws me out of her car on the side of the highway, and my buddy, he was following us, picks me up. I was like, go to an ATM. I get like $500 out or
Max out.
whatever. Max it out there. Max it out the strip club. I'm sitting here and of course I'm an asshole. I have them turning into ones, and I'm just sitting there with a pile of money. This is the night before your wedding, and my buddy's like, dude, we gotta go. Like the guy who I worked with, he's like, it was dangerous wherever we were. I don't know what strip club.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I hit my head that night on a
Hit your head. You fucking face planted
yeah.
into the concrete.
Yeah, well, no, I was taking a leak at my buddy's house, and I just took a face plant into the toilet, and my face was wrecked. And
I thought the story was you tripped over a curb and hit your face on the
I probably
in the
told you
street.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but I know now it was in a bathroom because I see the guy sits. And
Oh,
he's like,
really?
Remember that night? He's like, man, it looked like you went like 12 rounds. I was like,
It
yeah.
did.
What I did, I mean, so the girl who I pissed off, I call her up. I'm like, dude, I need your help. I got my best friend's wedding.
Yeah.
So I show up to her house, and is there kids in her?
Don't worry about that.
All right, so, I mean, I was like, hey, I just need a favor, She's like, all right, come by, you asshole.
Piece
You're
of
a
shit.
dick last
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
You whatever. All right. So I get over there, and she's like, oh, you're going to need a makeup artist for this.
I'm
She's
not
like-
qualified.
She's like, my friend does makeup, and I was like, I was such a dirtbag, dude. I felt like such a dirtbag. I'm getting makeup put on, I'm snorting fucking pills, and I'm going to your wedding.
Yeah.
It's like I can laugh about it now, but it still hurts.
I hear you.
I still feel dirty, and I mean, I've wanted to bring up for how long you been married? I don't even know.
That was 2017, so I think this is 7 or 8 years coming
Can
up.
you say like 2007? Because I was what? That wasn't that long ago.
Oh,
like in retrospect,
98.
7 years.
It was 98.
So I'm 37 and I don't have my shit together.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I barely did.
You did.
I mean, I was getting
You're
married.
on the way.
Yeah,
You're
for sure.
on the way, but it's just
So
it's crazy, man.
So you called me and you go, dude. I go like, fuck, what, man? You know, because like I knew when you would call, because what me and Brauss would generally do the next day, it was always, and you guys out there that partied when you were young know exactly what I'm talking about. It was like, oh, dude, do you remember? It's like, fuck, what? You know, but he's like, dude. And I'm like, what, dude? He's like, so there's a little bit of a problem. And I'm like, dude, not today. Like, it cannot be today.
I shouldn't laugh.
Well, we can all laugh about it now, but he's like, I fucking fell, whatever he told me some story. But yeah, he showed up and it was like that chick who doesn't need to wear that much makeup. But she does, you know?
Is that why I just changed in your room and I look and I see a nice wedding picture of you guys and I notice to the left there was some people in the shot. I was to the right, but it wasn't in the picture.
You got cropped out. No, you weren't in that.
Like Costanza, dude.
You know, yeah. You know what's funny enough though is right over our kitchen sink we have a photo of the whole wedding party,
Sure.
all 6 of us, and you're standing there. And oftentimes I'm like, a fucking idiot, you know?
But at least we could smile.
Oh,
laugh. I mean, I got
absolutely.
tears in my eyes, but it was just.
Well, Alicia's the one that brought this up when we were talking yesterday. She goes, "Yeah, you guys can talk about how he fell on his face the night before our wedding."
Yeah, it was a toilet face plant. I don't know. It took me a while. I remember the next morning. It was like, I guess my buddy put all my money in a Walgreens, like
on him.
just plastic bag. I'm
Solid,
just
bro.
walking out of here.
Yeah,
My best friend's who I know who's gotten sober and is really trying to
yeah,
stop some heavy shit.
yeah.
You know? And I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know.
But yeah, the makeup, it was too much for like. Brauss is a good looking dude. He did not need makeup whatsoever, but it was like thick where you could have like touched it and it came off. You know, like, he showed up. He's like, "Dude, I'm so sorry."
I was
like,
probably sweating it off.
yeah, dude, I'm like, let's just get through this thing. And then, you know what my wife and I did? We went home that night. I'm pretty sure we had kids with us. We ordered Cecil Whitaker's and went to sleep.
Shut the front door.
Like that is how crazy we got on our wedding night.
When was what was the date?
St.
what time
Patty's
you-
Day,
Yeah,
March
St. Patty's
17th.
Day.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what? I'll have to look.
I walked her through the threshold in our shitty little rental house over there by Ethel's, and it's like, but we did it, man.
That was
We-
a cool.
yeah, we were fucking we
It wasn't North County, man. I mean,
it what?
it wasn't North County anymore.
No,
you
yeah,
know?
we made it across the river.
And not to say there, I loved North County, dude. I mean,
Growing up was great.
Absolutely loved it. It's just,
Dude.
there's a lot of things that we did there that you don't want to see no
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
I mean, it's just the memories, and I mean, it's sad to drive there now because it was a lot better looking back then.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Still, it don't matter. I don't want to go back there because of all the damage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah.
Well, my thing is like, I'm trying to, and I think I've done well at it, but it's like, that was one chapter, and it's not all regret. Like my childhood and us growing up, even into like our 20s, some of the best times and best people ever.
Absolutely.
Like it was fucking amazing. Like I don't regret any of that. Of course, when we got into the bad shit, I do, but like I want to close that chapter. I'm trying to do this thing where like Tim McGraw song, My Next 30 Years. Like I want to just stop. Like I wish I could just not erase it all because I loved it, but at the same time, just like, all right, that was that. But it's hard, dude, because that's what you know.
Well,
Like,
it's crazy. It's just like, even last year, I think when I turned 43, I was like, I think I'm over half, you know? I mean, I'm not
yeah, dude.
By the way, I've abused myself and all that. I'm probably way over half.
I'm telling
but,
you what.
But you know, if you look at genetics and my grandparents,
Yeah.
they're all 80-ish or whatever. So it was about a year ago when I started saying like, dude, you need to live the second half, dude. 'Cause
Sure.
Your first half, you get one do-over, dude.
Yeah.
And either you're gonna be a positive influence on people, or you're just, you know, whatever. And I've tried to, you know, I've had some,
Of
you
course.
know, missteps,
Of
and
course.
whatnot, but it's
Well, you've done
it's more
more.
rewarding.
You've done more good than bad. It's just that it's like the bad. Okay, so I never gambled, but you guys that did, you don't remember the winning hand so much. You remember the fucking losers.
Oh man,
You know, it's like, yeah, but dude, I fucking lost $600 last night. It's like, yeah, but you just told me yesterday you won 1,000.
I wasn't one of the winners.
No, I'm saying,
we had some buddies, though. I know.
Yeah,
exactly
but people
what
in
you're talking
general, they seem to talk about the fucking losses more. You know, you won 2 World Series, but that one you got knocked out. It's like, so I don't know. And I think there's that thing where, and a buddy of mine was talking about this. He's from out there. And he was saying, like, it's almost like designed in a way that you're going to be a blue collar union guy.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking work at some job you don't necessarily love.
Sure.
That's what you're going to do. You're going to try to give your kids everything you can, and you're going to fucking die. But it's like, you're almost not supposed to dream bigger than that. You're not supposed to try to, what do you think you're going to Arizona to go to school? Oh, you're going to go be a Marine. You're going to be a fucking rock star. It's like, we're not allowed to have those thoughts from back there for some reason. Cause it's just this like dark, cloudy place. And
it is,
but the people are great, but it's just like, it seemed weirdly designed that way, you know? And it's like, what, you're doing a podcast? I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck. You know, it's something I want to do. If I fail at it, fine.
I didn't want to do this shit.
No.
I mean, like what'd you ask me? How long ago? I don't think I told you that I think it was when I was just starting to go through this whole DWI thing. And I was like, man, dude, I don't know, dude. For a long time, I've like wanted to come back here, but I wanted to come back here clean.
Like
clean from certain things.
Like as a success. Yeah.
Not even that, dude. It's
well,
just
to yourself.
both. Like out of respect for you.
Yeah.
I fucked up your wedding. You know what I'm saying? The next time I come back in that house, I've told myself in my head for 6, 7 years, whatever, however many years till I stop certain things.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't walking back into that house unless, you know, I had bouts where I came by, but I was like clean for a month or whatever. But I would just go back out. But
yeah, you were reluctant
this time.
You were reluctant for sure.
Fuck, this one's. I mean, I don't know. I kept like, dude, let's get to this 100-day mark, right?
Yeah.
Like 100, something about 100, like rings with me when quitting something. So, like I was talking, get 100 days, get 100 days, and I don't know the exact day I stopped, but I know I'm over 3 months, so which is 90 days. So. It's probably right about 100
That's
right
awesome.
now, which is crazy. And then the cigarette thing, I counted 100 hours, dude, because, man, those day 2 and 3, it's like, I'm surprised I have a job. I'm trying to put together financials for millions of dollars.
Yeah, right. Other people depend on you.
Yeah. Don't walk into my office, dude. Like, what are you thinking?
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
I quit smoking, don't you know?
Yeah. And amongst all these other things, it's just like, dude, just keep going. You know, I mean, I feel comfortable to come over here now. I mean, I want to step out of more of my shell on this second half. And like, dude, because I've isolated from everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple, you know, I'm really good friends with my neighbors, but my circle is like many.
Me too, man.
You know what I'm saying? And to reach back out to you, and then, you know, maybe eventually I can rekindle some friendships with, like, say, you know, some other people that
safer
I did
people.
music with and all that.
Yeah,
you know,
I got you.
It's just,
and
I just had to get away. You know? But I still was destroying myself.
I know.
I don't want anybody else to see that shit.
I hear you. There is a lot of shame that goes into it.
Yeah.
But there's that when you do get to like reconnect with those like safe, good people, it's nice. But you realize like everyone's doing the same shit. Yeah. We're all just trying, and we're all raising kids, and everybody's so and so's kids in college now, and that's fucking awesome, and blah blah blah. But like, this is it.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest with you, there are days when it's like, this isn't sexy at all. You know, there's nothing fucking sexy about this.
I mean,
but if I can have this or the other one, I'm taking this every day.
Oh, dude, I mean, this is what I throw on when I get off work. I was like, you know what? I was gonna like, maybe I should wear some shorts to Dominic's, not some painted on.
Who gives
Nike
a fuck?
Freaking or whatever. Basketball shorts from like the late 90s. They're probably still from late high school. Who knows?
Sure.
But it's just like, dude, I look forward to throwing off that stupid ass buttoned up shirt.
Of course.
And like getting like this. And I'll walk. I don't care what anybody thinks now. And it's a freeing feeling.
Absolutely.
You know?
And this isn't what you're saying. I'm going kind of on my own here, but like, I felt that a lot. I felt it a lot from family. Not my mom, but, well, I only have a sister left, whatever. But, there was that thing when I had to disappear and then like kind of came around. I felt a little vibe about like, you're better than anybody. And it's like, dude, I am the exact same motherfucker.
Yeah.
I apologize that I'm not like, you know what I'm saying? I don't apologize for shit. I like, sorry that I don't party like I used to, but I won't fucking apologize. I owe my life to 4 people, and they are all in this building that we're in right now. And that's what the fuck you got to give a fuck about. Everything else is just bonus.
For sure.
And it's good if it's good, but if it's not, whatever, you know? I wanted to ask you about this. So I know you well enough to know. This goes back to you talking about prescriptions and stuff like, and I'm only saying this because I love you so much and we've been through so much together.
I didn't steal anything. I didn't steal anything.
Did you ever have sex with Alicia? No. No, dude, I'm kidding.
I've done a lot of bad things.
That's the thing you always say, like, I didn't bang your old lady. I don't owe you money. So I don't know what the fuck you give me business.
I screwed everything else up, okay, go ahead. Ask
what about physical activity? Now, hold on. Let me pitch you real quick. I know you enough to know you're not some long distance runner. You don't have to be. I know you enough to know you don't love being in the weight room. You don't have to be. But what I'm saying is, it has been, I take a leave when necessary, melatonin, 10 milligrams a night to sleep. I am on testosterone therapy, and that's changed my life for the better in so many ways. And
I've done a little research on that, so
we should talk. It's the best prescription I've ever found, and as you know, more than most, I have been on every fucking prescription that is. There's this thing. I have anger stuff. If I heard this from a workout dude on YouTube that I like, and he's not like douchey about it. He goes, it's not that I love to work out so much. It's that I hate who I am if I don't. I don't know if I necessarily hate who I am if I don't, but when I had a foot surgery not long ago. Now, I know I need to rest up and recover so I can get back to work and stuff, but like those couple days, dude, the depression sets in.
Yeah.
So quickly. It's so fucking obvious. It's so apparent. Alicia can feel it. The kids can definitely feel it. And she said to me before, like, hey, in the nicest way possible, and I love you so much, like, maybe you should go downstairs. Because every time, and I'm not like some workout freak, but it's just like, it's the best prescription I've ever had.
Yeah. I feel you there. I think I do outlets like putting everything into my job, like just working way too much or whatever. And I know there's other outlets that I want to try. And in the second half, I think I will. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just what they're going to be. I don't know. But yeah, I would. I would. Why not? Well, I'm just saying, like,
I think a lot of people think that it has to be like, I got to go get a gym membership or buy all this equipment and all this. It's like simply walking around the neighborhood. Like, it does so much, just dumbbells bullshit. You know, you can find all this shit on Marketplace. And it's like, my point is it's just,
get moving.
Definitely. But when I come down here, like, this is my safe space where I can hit that bag as hard as I want. I can be aggressive. I can yell. I can, like, I'm not talking about like weird shit, but like I can fucking grunt and yell and like, and it's perfectly legal. I'm not hurting anyone.
Right.
And my whole family, like everyone knows, and Alicia too, she works out every single day of her life. She's a fucking maniac, but like it's well known around here. We try to get the kids involved and shit. And it's like, this is that 45 minutes or whatever. I will walk back up those stairs. It's not that things won't bother me after that, but I'll be able to like accept them and digest them and kind of like figure out. And it doesn't always work, trust me, because I'm just a motherfucker, but
45 minutes.
That's a long one.
That is long.
It's long.
But it's still 30. How much, say if it's 30, I waste 30 days or 30 hours, 30 minutes in a day quick. You know what I'm saying? We waste it all.
I don't turn on my phone, that thing that keeps track of how long you're on your phone, because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
There's a thing on iPhones that tells you your time on the phone. I forget what
I'm not really on my phone too much.
See, I am.
Oh, you are?
So what I'm saying is, I know how much time I fucking waste.
Right.
And it's like, what I'm saying is I have zero excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get up at 3:40, work a 12-hour shift, and then come home. Fuck, I don't care. You know,
I try to still keep going because with having just me in the house, to do all the you know, it's not
everything.
I don't have a wife. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right.
I'm doing the cleaning. So I try to do like a little bit of that every day. I mean, still keep moving.
Sure,
You know?
of course.
But, I mean, a lot
I'm
of
just saying,
times
think
it's
about it.
plop. Oh, yeah, I would think about it.
It
That's
does
for sure.
it's so good. Like, we all have our own different mental health problems and everything else. Like, that is the only thing that I have found that is like, I just feel better, you know?
I would have to say this shit probably works a little bit.
This podcasting?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that thing where I can
another
be
outlet.
creative and like, I don't know, even if it's not really creativity. But what do you do in therapy? You go back to childhood.
Yep.
Right? You rewind every fucking time you go into a therapist's office. They go, how was your childhood?
Well, what are we doing here?
Exactly. That's my point.
But
We're
let's
just
talk about some future things.
yeah.
But, I mean,
but
I get it though.
We're just talking about.
I've done the therapy thing. I mean, have you been to like a psychiatrist, psychologist, or whatever?
I can't
a church
count.
person?
I can't count how many.
I didn't even know if you ever went.
Oh my
I guess
God.
I guess
Well, if you ever listen to my show,
you could see like my family. You know, hey, he go see it there. You
Yeah,
know what
sure.
I'm saying? But I couldn't see. I didn't know if in your family dynamic that you would actually go do that.
well, it was on my
I'm
own.
not trying to be.
It was on my
Okay,
own
is
as
this
an
later
adult.
in life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, right after I got home and shit, you know, I checked in with the VA and started doing their thing. But that was a pill grab.
Right.
That was all just for pills,
Oh,
as
I know.
you well
I
know.
got a few.
I used to, for some reason, I had a bottle of them at a bar with me, and I would look down, and you're just grubbing your fucking hands in my shit. I'm like, dude.
Oh no, just looking for a smoke, bro.
Those
I
are my-
swear.
those
There's
are
like
my-
a Xanax.
Yeah,
there.
those
Like,
are my
Jesus.
Klonopin, and I need all of them while I'm drinking at the bar.
And I don't know how much I have. Bullshit.
Yeah. No, Dr. Shapiro, I credit him. I got like this team of like 5 or 6 people that I credit with saving my life. I email, call, or text him every year on my clean day and tell him thanks, you know. But Alicia had that all set up, and it was kind of do or we this isn't gonna work. I mean, it was a real thing.
Says like, I mean, I just remember going when I was younger, just trying, because I've tried to quit like so many things, and I just knew I wanted something better, which I feel like I'm starting to find now, which is much later than I had hoped. But I was in and out of like, you know, seeing therapists and whatnot, and it's just like, yeah, you go to this past, but man, I feel like, yeah, I get to this past, and then that was it. Like, okay, what do I do now? You know, then they're just sign me, come next week.
Yeah.
But dude, it's gonna take me like a year to get through my past before I can start work. I'm like, I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the patience,
dude. I hear you.
or the money.
That's another one. I've said that a lot.
I mean, this is easy.
Yeah. Well, where I had a problem with the VA, and I know I had my own. I wouldn't go sometimes and shit, but for the most part, like when I quit with all the VA shit and went to civilian, I would show up.
Sure.
We would open Pandora's box about parents and drug addiction from my earliest memories. Right. It was always a problem, or it was always an issue in my house. You know, my mom, she's the best person, you know, along with all of her faults, far from perfect. She fucking loved me, man. And I knew that my whole life. But we would go into this thing, and I've come to realize it does, of course, have a lot to do with my dad. You know, I still seek male validation, and it's fucking weird and kind of gay to say, but it's what it is, awkward. You know? Yeah. But, so we would get into it and start over. And then like, they were, all right, well, see you next week. You know, I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I'm like vibing with this chick, this lady, this doctor. And like, you know, and then you show up and it's like no longer her. And you're like, well, what happened to Dr. So-and-so? And they're like, well, she moved to Virginia. I'm like, well, I don't fucking know you.
The hard part is with therapy is like, okay, you schedule this hour or whatever, but you don't know when you schedule that hour if you're going to be an open book or if you're going to just say what,
absolutely,
you know, if you're going to work on
it. I might not fucking feel like it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was tough for me. It's like, I mean, I just bullshit most time, but like, I just remember opening up like completely this one time, just losing it, dude.
Yeah.
And for a full hour. And then like, I finally look up and he's like, well, I ran out of time. You know, I'm like, shit, dude. Well, I mean, like, dude, you knew I was in need, dude. I was like down, like just everything.
So can you fix me or?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I went out in my car and I was just like, never again.
Yeah,
and, you know.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, I saw some people, you know, more on the side, like, pastors through the church and had some very good production.
Yeah.
You know, stuff that I'm pulling from now later in life.
Yeah.
I could sit here and say, oh, it didn't do me no good or whatever, but I'm still pulling
For
from
sure.
some of these sessions from 20 years ago.
Yeah, you can
15
still
or
hold that same
10.
information.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's got a lot to do with like trust and you know, and I saw so many of them, and then through a friend of Alicia's from work, it was like a third party thing. Her son was a veteran guy and just got home and all this shit. We went and saw this dude, and like on paper we have zero in common.
Right.
Zero. He's like a Jewish dude from New York. He's one of my favorite people in the world because like he just would not take my shit because I was always just manipulating the situation.
Absolutely.
Growing up with women, that is one thing I learned how to do was talk to women because I grew up with them and I never wanted to see my mom and sister cry. So I learned how to circumvent that by either like laughter or just telling them what they want to hear. And it's like, it's total manipulation, but he wasn't having that bullshit.
Yeah.
And it was like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to get away with this shit. And then on top of that, Alicia wasn't having that bullshit. So it's like, if I don't feel like going today, we'll get the fuck up and get in the car. You're going to take a ride with me. If you don't want to go in the office, fine, I'll go in by myself.
Right.
Well, by the time we get down to Mackland, down like by the science center and the zoo and shit was where his office was.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I might as well fucking go in now. And some of those sessions were the best ones I ever had.
I mean,
but
yeah.
He turned me on to the Wounded Warrior Project that got me into that Project Odyssey thing where I went by myself in the woods. I went with this group in the woods for like 5 days and worked on all kinds of stuff. And then that led into a couples thing where her and I went in the woods by ourselves with this group of people and and it just all, I found out that as I worked my own program, not the 12 steps or anything, but as I worked my own, and you know, she had 98% to do with it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Without her, it was like, I'll just call Brauss and kick this motherfucker off, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a way to do it, but I just don't think the answer is the same for everybody. And I think that's the hardest part.
It definitely is. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Life's tough.
And it really is. But so going back, like it's weird to me when I have days off, like I look forward to whether it's like going for a run or coming down here, boxing, lifting, whatever it is. I look forward to that so much. And then like everything else just seems a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know why, because it was like jujitsu. You do that shit for an hour, you're not going to encounter anything that tough today. You're not going to encounter like from blue belt up to black belts choking the fuck out of you.
Sure, you think, I mean, in our minds, we feel like we can do things so quick. It just doesn't happen.
Nothing like that's going to happen for the rest of the day. No. You're going to go like cut the grass easy, make dinner easy, do homework easy. It's just like you've gotten at whatever 10 o'clock in the morning, the hardest thing you will encounter for the week is done.
Right.
And so, I mean, you know, just think about it and kind of keep it in the back of your head. And I think it'll really serve you well. Cause that fucking medicine, dude, I don't know, man. I'm just weird about it. I think like, and then here's all your prescriptions but this one counteracts this one. And like, I never looked up what my medications were and why, like how they worked and all that bullshit. But it's like this one just helps this one and that helps this one that interacts and counteracts with this one. It's like, what is this cocktail of shit I'm taking anyway? But at the time I had no one telling me like, hey man, maybe if you just stop drinking so much, you know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody
was mixing them all like, that's a great idea.
Exactly.
You know?
Nobody was saying that shit.
No. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of freeing.
Very much so. Well, I'm proud of you.
But I might still, have to.
I'm not saying you should.
I'm going back to the doctor in September.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm monitoring myself. I have a couple people who know I'm off my meds and stuff. So
I'm not saying
so far. So I think I should be more on something for ADD. For anything, my brain is just all over the place all the time.
I hear
it's
you.
Just even sitting here trying to concentrate. It's like,
well, and that's another point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
I ran 4 miles this morning, and like the rest of the day, I've just been kind of like, whatever, that's cool. My truck's in the shop. She's got to take me to work the next couple days, and that's a whole fucking thing. But it's like, it ain't that bad, you know?
No, it could be way worse.
Well, dude, I've had you for almost 2.
I think we're good. I have many more. I can't wait. We'll do this again.
So we can either do this over the phone. I can bring this shit to your house sometimes if Dylan's at whatever, and then you can come out here. But I've been looking forward to this. I just got an email from the hosting site that I have to re-up my yearly. You have to pay a yearly fee or whatever.
Are you trying to sell me something?
No, I'm just saying.
You sound like a
I don't
damn
have anything
sick.
good to
I
sell.
thought you were going to sell me a damn timeshare.
No,
what have I been doing here this whole time?
It's fucking Maui, dude. What are you talking? But so August was a year, and so it's like I have been looking forward to talking to you, and I didn't even know where we were going to go. I didn't know we were going to go down that road. These are the notes I had.
I don't think you looked at any notes.
No, fuck no. I had Microsoft for the thing that happened today because
that would have been thrilling conversation.
Yeah, how riveting.
Wow.
Yeah, well, just because
I get it.
I wasn't able to do my blood draw this morning at the testosterone place. But
it's crazy.
But I did talk to the nurse practitioner up there, and she's supposed to come. I've got her on the schedule next week to talk about all that. So I think that's going to be really cool to think about. And then I've got Trump, which we did, the Arizona run. And then
we didn't even get. We have so many more.
Oh yeah. And then
those stories we kept very G's.
I have Steadfast on here because I wanted to talk about playing and stuff like that. And then I have hip hop. Are you Kendrick Lamar? Are you team Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Me?
Yeah, you don't know anything about it. So my point is, these notes are fucking useless.
Right.
This is just a thing.
I mean, I know those names, but I would say anything not Drake. I don't know why. It's
I'm
just
with
the way
you,
he carries himself.
And apparently
I don't
he's
know.
hanging around with pedophiles. So I'm out.
He looks.
I'm out.
No, give me 50 Cent.
Yeah. Kendrick's pretty dope. But so that's my point, I guess.
Just go off.
This is the kind of thing that I've always wanted to do. And for some reason, I always knew that you and I could just, because there's that thing when I have people come in and you go, oh, hey, what do you think about this? And they go, I think this.
Right.
That's not the answer, of course. It's just an example. But then it like stops.
Huh.
And so it is my job to.
Because I still feel uncomfortable.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We know each other.
I mean, not all the time, but probably about like half of the time. Because I'm trying to think of what to say. And then, you know what I'm saying?
I fucking right. I know what you're saying.
This is not me doing this, but you know what I mean? Like,
I disagree. I think you're doing that to yourself because I think
that's where my head is. So it's like, dude, I never wanted to I was so in my head going out onto a stage and but then I would let it all go.
Yeah.
You know? But public speaking, hate it.
Really?
Hate it. I mean, I could feel
I love it.
Oh my God, so I'm in a finance meeting like 2 days ago, right? And I was fumbling with my papers, right? And I've only been at this job for 5 months.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to, be on top of my shit.
It's
right?
nerve-wracking, yeah.
So I get asked a question, and it's just instant blank, dude. And I could just feel whoop, everything's red. My whole face has to be beet red. Like my boss had to say, I'll send you an email with the answer, something like that. But I finally figured it out. It just sometimes takes me a minute, but I don't know, dude, when I feel like a spotlight's on me or whatever. It's
but if I had asked you that question, you would have came up with the answer, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was just you and I.
Or anyone, yeah.
Or
one-on-one.
Or one-on-one.
Group is terrible for
me. It can be tough.
I've been going into meetings and these board meetings, all this stuff it's been a while. I did it at the last place I was at and this. And every time, that you go around the table or say something, and it's like, I mind fuck myself every time. And I'm just like, dude, what? Why? I just work myself in my head.
Yeah. Well, and like we were talking about doing this podcast, you've probably had the internal conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Because you knew you were going to a meeting that day and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. But when that question doesn't get asked and it's a different one, you're like, oh, fuck, hold on. You're supposed to ask me about January, you know?
Well, what's crazy though, I didn't really, it's been so busy at work and then I'm planning a trip to Chicago with my son, you know, and it's just this last couple days I really didn't even have time to mind fuck myself.
Well, that's
to
good.
come over here. I mean, yeah, of course, just a little bit, but then you just sat down, you're like, all right, and
that's why I just hit record.
I thought we were gonna warm up our voices or something, but no. So I mean,
well, and that's why I didn't want to talk to you a lot when you got here.
I know.
Like it's just because
you're acting weird.
Well, I know, but had I just
get it though because you've done this though.
Well, right, we would have gotten the whole podcast out sitting up there talking to Alicia.
I know.
I'm like, fuck that.
I tried to do it on the phone.
I know.
I could have done it over text.
I could tell you. I'm like, no, you're not having
There's
it.
a lot more to talk about. There's a lot of things, dude. I mean, I just thought about a lot of things while we were sitting here talking, but yeah, it'll be for
Well, and
another
when
time.
you leave, you're going to go, oh, dude, that fucking thing. Remember the stupid mug that he bought from the store that said Base Tech on it? And you remember that, the coffee? So it just, shit always pops up on you.
It does, but it's just we didn't even scratch the surface yet.
Yeah. We had the
That was very...
assistant secretary of the Army come out to my job site the other day.
Sure.
My boss, I'm just a talker. You know what I mean? I don't know. He's like, but when people are coming out, we got this big project going on. He's like, hey, man, would you mind walking them around? I'm like, I don't have a problem with it at all. I like to do it. But I think doing shit like that always, it just doesn't bother me that much, you know? But with this thing, like, I'll try to prepare and I think I've got a good idea, and then I'll have the internal dialogue that goes, that idea is stupid. It's not even a good idea at all. And then, so I won't do it, when the best thing to do is just come down here and go. And sometimes good shit comes out of it. Sometimes it's terrible. And
well, you might be able to find 10 minutes out of 2 hours there. You know?
Yeah. But I always have to remind myself, like, there's not that many people listening.
Oh,
not yet.
But it could, and then you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Remember that one time you said gay on a podcast?
I mean, look, dude. I mean, look at the things that people are doing, and then they just become famous.
Yeah.
You know, like overnight, or like even just get 1 million subscribers, or whatever it is nothing anymore.
Yeah, but they got big tits and, you know, something else to offer. Like, fuck that.
But I mean,
I've said this a bunch of times, dude. My favorite podcast, you know the guy Shane Gillis?
nah.
He got fired from SNL. He does a really good Trump impersonation.
Oh, yeah. The name, yeah.
He's blowing up. He's got a show on Netflix now. Anyway,
Check it out.
him and his buddy started in a basement in Philly. They're both stand-up comedians.
Sure.
He talks about it. He's like, there's my air mattress over there, and like he had like cans of beans in the cabinet. And so it was the same as just two motherfuckers like us.
Right.
And now it's like he's a completely different world. That's not what I'm saying is going to happen to me. I'm just saying I've always liked the flow of how they do it, and it reminds me so much of how we flow.
Yeah.
Because it's effortless.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, we haven't even seen each other for years.
Well, that's
either,
true.
Today.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw each other. When's the last time? Well, at a funeral, but what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's.
We can't really get into our shit at a funeral.
No, but like, you came by when I had a garage sale.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all been kind of like.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
you were living out there by Rusty
imagine if
Wallace.
we're hanging out every day, this show might be all right. You know, if we were still hanging out every day.
I think it would still keep up though. That's what we're going to try to do. Hopefully.
Let's do it.
Well, maybe we'll go get some tacos or something, buddy. Thanks for coming over. I really appreciate you.
Got it.
Everybody, thanks again for checking us out. I hope you enjoyed this and we didn't offend anyone. I don't think we did though.
I don't think so.
You guys be cool. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon. Thanks. See ya.